Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Autist Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some podcasting. We are doing a feedback show. That's where we talk about the things that you had to say throughout the week. You can leave feedback show by just looking in a feedback. You can leave feedback by just looking in the show notes at the bottom of every show. It tells you like the voicemail line, the email, the website, all that stuff. If you're on Spotify, we have polls. You can leave comments on the episode to our question of the episode. This is where we come to talk about all that stuff. And the official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport.
What about?
A bullet ball extreme. Got my tongue tied today. I guess we can go ahead and start getting into the episode. I will say too, if you're just a tippers or premium members, we have put our latest premium sport movie review out. It's the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. It's in your feed already, so you should be able to check those out. And we hope you enjoy them. Appreciate the people to leave feedback on those and all that stuff. And if you're not premium, it'll be in your feed in like a month, because that's when we put those things out there. If you just are subscribed to the Sport Movie Review podcast regular feed. All right, let's but man, I just gotta say, like, our reviews are so fun, they're thorough. And the comments and the comedy that happens with the feedback and the trailers, like, it's a fun time. We had like a good time talking. JL Covan, of course, friend of the show, friend in real life, like, wrote in a comment on a review from for Avatar or something, The Way of Water, and we had a fun time responding to it. Like, it's like we have
jail.
So I don't even know that you have to be that big of a movie fan to enjoy our movie reviews.
Right.
If you care
You don't
about
even have to be done watch the movie to enjoy our movie reviews. To tell
if you care about spoilers, you may. If you care about spoilers, if not, you can listen to it and enjoy it, even if you never plan on seeing the movie.
Right. And the thing is, the title is in the name. The name is in the title. Spoiled.
Yeah.
So when you click, you can't be shocked and or surprised.
Right. All right, let's go ahead and get into this show. Let's start by shouting out, of course. There's on the website, you can go to theblackouttips.com and you can give us money. You can look on the right hand side and says, would you like to contribute to the show? And you can pick any denomination of money, and you can do one time recurring. We don't care. But we give everybody a shout out. And this is that time.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Yes, new day, new drop, new guap. Let's talk about it. Chris from Hawaii dropped us that money off in the bank. April G, Corey the Tickler, Tabitha M, Alexis H, Wanga from Down Under, Tanya S, Marlon B, yes, Marlon B, Dostra J, Tiffany B, no relation to Marlon, Shirley Wong Esquire, please say the Esquire, she earned it, she went to school, she got them degrees.
Come on.
Palmetto Stone Magic, Lindsay B, Mr. Span, who started his podcast thing, now it's called the Mr. Span podcast, but he restarted it, soft launch, like 3 or 4 episodes in, go check it out, he's back. Jay Full, and lastly Alfonso M. Thank you everybody who puts in on this. We wouldn't be able to do it without your help. It goes a long way, so appreciate y'all. Now play me out, choir. Karen, would you like to speak in some tongues real quick? No? Okay, all right. Don't want to play with Jesus. All right, then let's get to
Just won't catch me.
Just in case, I hear you. You get to the gates and you be like, "What's up with all that shit you was talking?" All
Right,
right.
and that be the thing why I don't the reason why I don't make it to glory. No, thank you.
He turned all the cheeks except that one. All right. 5-star reviews. I think we didn't get any new ones, but I don't remember if I read this one. It's from 10 days ago, so I should have read it, but I don't remember. So I'll just read this one. Hey y'all, great show. And it's 5 stars, and that's all it is. It's Mr. Fineapple who left that one. Thank you, Mr. Fineapple. I don't remember reading this one, so it's new to me.
Yep. Thank you, baby.
Let's talk about what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the comments on the website. The first episode of the week was 2671 Stop and Lick. It was our feedback episode. We had a few comments. Sean says, brief 2-paragraph apology. I apologize for accusing you of gaslighting me. It was inappropriate and hurtful. I understand that you are doing a lot and appreciate every podcast you offer. I appreciate that you are generally more reliable than the American news outlets. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank
you. I'm gonna be honest, dog. It's a lot of work to do this shit, and when I'm not doing game theory in another city, it's easier because I read and do a lot more research. I told everybody before I even came here that, hey, y'all remember last time? It's about to go back to a more conversational, less fact checked. Like, I don't have the mental bandwidth and I don't have the time to be writing a TV show and being like, let me go check out 17 paragraphs of this Washington Post piece before I talk about it.
No, you're not gonna get that. What you are gonna get is more Karen NBA TV talk. I mean NBA talk. Hornets talk. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's stuff like that too. Karen just decides she got an NBA corner now. You know what I'm saying? She didn't run that by me. And the thing I think a lot of people don't understand about me as the host, and it's one of the reasons, like, we don't have a producer. We're not like the celebrities that just sit down in front of a microphone and someone else is telling us what to talk about. Or
correct. It's nothing that we read a script off of.
We don't have a researcher.
Doing it live.
Yeah, we don't have a researcher and stuff. And what people don't understand is, like, from my perspective, Karen, Justin, other guests and stuff, they are constantly like eroding my thought thing. Now, this is a good thing for the show. I want them to. It's what makes the show work. Is like I've told like y'all will notice sometimes Karen will talk over top of me, and I'll like consciously like shut the fuck up and look down, try to remember what I was gonna say or whatever. Write down something. Because I want them to have that freedom. That's what makes the show fun, is that they can just like bust in and do some shit and whatnot. Now, what's happening a lot of times is whenever they're saying this loose cannon shit, because I'm the one that did the reading and the research.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm in my mind having to fact check them as they're talking.
Correct.
I don't know everything, but I'm trying my best because I'm also thinking about 12 other things with the show, keeping it running, what kind of feedback we're going to get from this. If this is accurate, what was the thing I was going to say? What was the point I was trying to make? What's the next topic that's coming up? How much time have we been recording? How much time do we have left? What do we have after this? How long is this shit going to take to edit and upload? So I'm thinking about a lot of shit at the same time. So sometimes I'm not always conscious even to be able to be in the moment and joke and stuff like that. I try to be, but it's just another thing to add on top of my thought process. So what I'm saying is, if 27 times Karen has said the wrong thing about China, and I've gotten 26 and forgot the one time, maybe it's a joke, maybe it's not, but there is a part of me that's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, we've had this happen with other fans and stuff where they've written in about something like this, and it's like, I don't want to be mad at them because I think they're enjoying the show and they just want it to be good and better.
And they want it to be accurate, right?
But I need them to understand I'm human. Karen's human. We don't have a team of people. We don't have lawyers and the legal department.
It's not somebody re-listening to it to be like, hey, this is right. This is not right. Redact this.
Yeah, we don't have a read down. We don't have a rehearsal. This is all live. So we would never purposely put misinformation out there. So if somebody wrote up to be like, hey, y'all said this thing and it was just like wrong or whatever, that's cool. But that small mark of a second that has become a thing now, felt to me like a gotcha. I caught you slipping. You made a mistake. Whereas 99% of people heard this, everyone else who listens to the show, thousands of people heard it, and they either went, oh, I just didn't catch it that time, or they went, whatever. And I think maybe my own insecurity and self-consciousness and how hard I am on myself about being accurate about what we do, it meshes in with that feedback, and it's, and there's a response that's probably more, I try to keep it funny, to be honest. I'm not gonna, I don't ever try to be mean to people, but there's like an aggressiveness there that's like, dude, lay off, that I'm sure you picked up on. That's me being like, of all the things I'm worried about, that 1 second of me fucking up really shouldn't have to, it really don't need to be addressed. I'm sorry.
And I hate that it disrupted your day. I'm sorry that Roger was talking. I just came in with the bomb and was like, boom, let me blow everything up.
Yeah, because it's never addressed too directly to Karen. Like, Karen said this thing. It's always like, y'all, because everyone wants to be nice to Karen. They want to be friends with Karen, and I'm the one that's the bitch. I'm the one that's sassy and shit. And I get it, but yeah, it just takes on a life of its own sometimes. Now, if it's funny, I'll keep it going, because I think there's value to be had in funny. So it's funny to go back and forth a little bit, with the aha,
but, fun. Yes.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't, even if you're just facetiously apologizing, I actually do appreciate it, because like I said, man, it's hard. I try not to complain too much about the shit I'm doing, but yeah, it can be hard, bro. It's a reason y'all not getting 5 episodes a week and feedback, and in premium shows and all that, because I'm doing a lot of shit here, and I'm just not constantly, on social media telling y'all all the shit I'm doing and how hard it is, or how easy it is, or how much, some of this shit is just like, for me, some days I just get home and I just lay down. I'm just like
decompress. Yeah, I need to decompress.
Yeah, I'm like, I have the time to do a show, but I don't have the mental space to do a show, because if I did a show, it might sound like I might fuck up, or I might not know some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't read every article, and I'm not up to date on every current event. There's entire things or social media things that happen. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about this, and I'm not.
Don't care.
Whatever, like the shit with Rihanna in that magazine cover, or some article where she said she had a fine baby or something, and you clearly, like, motherfuckers are doing a lot with it. I haven't even looked into it, because I was just like, I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't even hear the thing about the baby, and I don't care. And honey, y'all know me. I don't care. Prior to all this, honey, I'll tap out some bullshit in a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't think a podcast with 2 people that don't care is good. And I don't
agree.
I don't like listening.
One else got to care.
I don't like listening to anybody's podcast where the people are like, I don't be looking shit up. I just be talking. I hate that shit. Anyone can do that. So y'all just, some days y'all don't get a show, but what I'm saying is I'm tired. So sometimes we'll do a show where I think like, okay, I had the bandwidth for this, and maybe there's 1 fucking second in the 2 hours where I fuck up, and I'm being honest, I don't want to hear about it. You know what I mean? Like, not right now. It's not the time. All right.
Do y'all don't hear no stomping, do you?
Stomping? No.
Okay, because it's some kids above us, and all I hear do 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 do, because kids don't have no rhythm. So I was like, do they hear that on the mic? All I hear is fucking tumbling.
The mics we have is kind of hard to pick up that stuff. I'm sure, like, if you got like a real sensitive ear, you can hit it, or if you got your volume all the way up, maybe. Okay. But I can't hear it.
Okay, no problem.
I also apologize that responding to my comments made you so busy that you did not have enough time to click through the article quoted by Google. If you had, you would have found the quote was actually a reference to 2015 changes in Chinese one-child policy. I should not expect you to be more accurate than Google. So this is low-key still a jab, but yeah, that's fine. And like I said, I can only pour out my humanity and ask everything so much, but at the end of the day, I'm just a fucking entertainment box to y'all, and I'm a clown. Just wind me up and I'll jump out the box. Abia says, somehow my former comment is gone. Now I'm afraid I said something bad, but it was only that listening to podcasts is something I can do despite having kids, because I can do it while walking and driving and doing housework. I don't know, because when I clicked on this post, it says 4 comments, and you're right. When I go to look for your comment. It's not there anymore. I'll let me
They still
go.
send you after.
Well, it could maybe it put her in spam or something. Let's see. What there's one comment in. There's a comment in trash. But that was somebody asked me to delete that comment. Yeah, I don't know, dog. I ain't see it. I remember seeing it when it first posted. I don't see it now, but it's all good. Gina Gates says, but wait, wasn't there some propaganda a while back about some stupid police unit handing out ice cream coupons or something? Yes, they were pulling over black people.
Yes.
And handing out. I don't remember if it was black people, but I feel like
they
it
was
black
pulling
people.
over people and they was handing out the coupons, and people was like, I fucking thought I was gonna be arrested. I thought I did something wrong. I'm in fucking panic, and here you come with a goddamn coupon thinking it's cute. And you know, it's like my interaction with you. This is not the interaction I want with you. Stand on the corner and hand these bitches out. Don't be randomly pulling me fucking over.
Right. Not to mention, like, who knows what you motherfuckers are. Like, your cop brain might kick in and you be like, well, while I'm here, let's have a look in the glove box. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For some reason, I have a mental image of a befuddled black person being offered ice cream by an officer. Yeah, we covered that years ago on the show. I'm not a fan of that stuff.
I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. That's not the type of outreach I want. I'm just trying to make it to the grocery store. Don't pull me over.
Yeah. I would like for you to just do your job the way it's supposed to be done, and just not without the racial bias and without the excessive force. I really don't think that's a lot to ask for, and I would venture to guess that 99% of black people would like that. And if we did that, I would venture to guess that a lot of black people even would be like, that's what I want police to be able to do, and that's fine. You know, we have communities in America who don't have a problem with the police. And they think the police are doing a great job. And you know what those communities have in common? They white. And you go, well, hold up. The white people are fucking up black people, blah, blah. Right, exactly. But they not going up in Valentine and stopping and frisking and fucking up white people. They not doing that. So, of course, their relationship with policing is different than ours. They think it's fine. They don't think anything needs to change. They only think something needs to change when they look on the news and see how we're being treated. But for them, for the most part, they're not experiencing the excessive force, the unlawful search and seizure and stuff like that. And there's no amount of fucking stopping me and giving me an ice cream coupon that's going to fix that shit, dog. That's not what I asked for, and that's not what I want.
Who asked for that? This is a real who asked for this.
Yeah, I want Transformers and y'all bringing GoBots. I don't need that, bro. And I don't need your fucking, red, black, and green cop cars either. It's not helping. I would like for y'all to just do the job properly. That's it.
That's it.
Anyway, the poll was Black History police cars. Yes or no?
No.
5% said yes. I don't know who these niggas are. I'm like that Tommy Davidson.
Is it for the comedy's sake?
I feel like that Tommy Davidson clip on the Breakfast Club where he was like, "Who are these niggas?" That's how I feel right now.
Don't post on Instagram and TikTok. The fuck? Why do you want this car?
Yeah. Who are the 5% that's like?
Who is the 5%?
Yeah, like I do want the Black History Police 10-minute Adult Swim animated TV show, but I don't want this shit. 95% said no, of course. The saner, cooler heads prevailed there. But here's what's crazy: the people with money, 11% would like the Black History Police cars. I didn't see that coming, Karen.
They got the money, so they priced out of police. They don't see race.
Maybe okay, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
They say, listen, I live in the white neighborhoods.
Come on, this is where I live. I'm fine. They ain't stopping and frisking me. You know what they say? They was like, I am not like any of those Negroes.
Yeah.
That clip.
I'll never be like those other Negroes.
Yes, yeah. I'll never be like none of them other Negroes. That's what Spotify's saying.
They coming out the house getting their newspaper and waving to the cops. Like, oh, there they go. Holding it down.
These niggas coming outside. Whistle while you work.
Yeah. Well, the Black History cop car is probably playing some Brand Nubian or some shit, but come down the block to Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
Uh, but it ain't bothering them, so I guess they like fuck it. But yeah, for the rest of us, for those of us who do give a fuck, I'm shocked that it was even as high as 11%. I just can't imagine who that's a good idea to. But who knows? Maybe there's some black person on the police force that thought that was outreach. So yeah, 11% yay, 89% nay. The comment for no comments on YouTube. But the comment for Anchor's Q&A, watch Game Theory with Bomani Jones. And we got people that replied. June Mo said, our girl June from Harlem says, can't wait to go to another taping. Ignacio says, secure the bag, Rod. Thank you, Tron. Michael Williams says, every Friday I played it multiple times on HBO Max. Okay, cool, because they look at them streaming numbers. So I don't know how much they look at the ratings, but I know they look at them streams. James says, did and will continue to do it. Love the Brett Fraud and NFL woke segments. Keep up the good work, Rod. Thank you. Raphael says, I may not be awake at 11:30 Friday night. Well, that's not a problem. I just need you to be awake at 11 on Friday night because we don't go off until 11:30. So if you can stay,
I understand.
As soon as I wake up,
you don't miss the whole show.
As soon as I wake up before my kid claims her domain, I won't catch the latest refreshing up of Game Theory. Talk your shit, Bomani. Put my friends on it too. Thank you, dog.
Thank you.
And Raja says, I love the show. It's fun and easy to follow, even though I don't follow sports. Also, for video editing, check out Canva's Reel or TikTok templates for a quick start or treatment ideas. Thank you. And Roger says, I will now that he's a baldy. I don't even know what this means.
Because cut all his hair off.
I know, but like, why would he have not watched when Bo had hair? I guess is the question. Like,
I don't know. I guess it's a camaraderie with the hair. I don't know.
Like, that's all I'm saying. I would like to know what was the
I mean, we just have questions. That's all.
Was he just hating? I don't,
he got hair and I don't. Oh, now he ain't got no hair. I'm all in.
2672 chicken roping was our next episode. Appia says, I only heard about the dog shit attack from you, and it seems to be a pretty big thing. The paper the critic is writing for is pretty legit. In Germany, it's way harder to fire someone who has a steady job, but even in Germany, there are some limits, and I would say this seems like one. About kids on social media, it's absolutely not something to be taken lightly, but also I don't think just forbidding is a solution. My older kid is 10 and has zero interest in it yet, but if or when she wants, I would try some. Let's try one where we both have access to and see how this goes. Yeah, a lot of parents do that.
Yeah, I realized that I've seen that's kind of an alternative, and to me, that still is that's a good alternative. Like, some parents will be like, "Hey, we both have access to this. Know that I'm in here. I'm looking. I'm watching. I got access to everything you got. If you kick me out, I'm shutting the whole shit down. You won't have access to anything." But even with that as a compromise, because it's very tough when all the kids got phones. And all parents aren't monitoring. All parents aren't watching. All parents aren't there interactive. You have a subsection of parents, just like our parents, that goes, I don't know nothing about that tickety-tock and that Nintendo phone, and they just tap out of technology. And it's one of those things where the kids know more than them, which I completely understand that, but it's not safe when a lot of times the kids don't really understand the consequences and the repercussions to their actions and doing these things. And now social media fucking follows you forever. Something I did at goddamn 10, you bringing it up at 45 like it happened yesterday. Bitch, I was 10, shit like that. And so it's just, one of those things where I think that is a decent compromise, because at least your child still have access to it. And on top of that, it's like, as a parent, you still need to find an appropriate age, because
and even with all that, a kid can still find a way around it. Start their own email, create the I forget what it's called, the Finsta, the fake Insta, stuff like that. So like, there's always gonna be ways that kids can get around it. And I mean, to be honest, I understand both. Like, I understand the parents who are just like, listen, you're not gonna have social media or you're not gonna have a phone or whatever. And I also understand the parents who like try to like introduce it softly, like, hey, let's I want to make sure I'm aware of all the dangers and stuff. I think it was Mike Vito was talking about like his daughter's Insta, which he uses, like they have together, and he was like, people will say weird shit or try to DM her or something, and he has to be aware of that. And so, if you're prepared to be involved and monitor, I think it is a good idea. But if you don't have the bandwidth for that, then maybe restricting it is the better idea, just depending on what kind of parent you are and what kind of time you have.
Yeah, and what kind of child you have, because
Yeah.
you know your child more than anybody else. You know how responsible your child is, because it's one of them things where the parents like, if I can't get you to wash your ass and change the sheets, why the fuck would I give you social media? You know what I'm saying? Like simple things like that.
Yeah, because that the sad part with social media too is just the consequences are forever now, and it's just
Mhm.
not a place where like we see so many horror stories about bullying, about
Right.
people making mistakes, and we know the world we live in is not one where you make a mistake and everybody moves on. Like we still got people holding grudges against folks for shit they did when they were like teenagers. So
Right.
it's just yeah. All right. But back to this comment. I gave her a cell phone already, one with parental control. She can only text with the family, grandparents, and aunts. I also talked to her about pictures, what's okay and what's not. Let's hope that my approach is the right one for us. For now, it works very well. She's very trustworthy. Good, good.
Hmm.
I'm glad. Cheyenne
Yeah.
says, "Hey y'all, I came in to weigh in on the social media convo. I'm 25. I was introduced to social media in fifth or sixth grade. I currently have a 15-year-old sister on Instagram. I do think 13 is too young, asterisk, to be online. My first social media was MySpace and Quizilla. MySpace was dangerous because friends were important, and 12-year-old me should not have been able to be in a cyber relationship with an unknown stranger. My
Right.
mom gave me permission to create an account, and we used her email, but that didn't do much. My working single mom was not checking every email about bulletin boards and top eights. Exactly. Yeah. I remember also message boards and chat rooms were before even MySpace. And that was even more unregulated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you have straight up predators in like Disney message boards and shit looking for kids. Like it was that.
Mm-hmm.
Quizilla was similar to AO3 fanfics and origin horror stories, and lots of smut or lemon, as it was called back in the day. Tumblr is weirdly the most appropriate site I use. It's pretty anonymous, and I followed humor blogs, but porn started to pop up around age 16. I think popular blogs were selling their usernames at this point. Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is unregulated because one, there's a law where you can't be held responsible for what's hosted on your website by people posting shit. So like until recently, that was just like seen as a catch-all blanket. Like, hey, even if you're putting child porn on Tumblr, Tumblr can't be held accountable for it. The user can, but there's a lot of things users can do to make sure that you don't know who they are and stuff.
Correct.
Um, and then also a lot of these places would feel like it was some type of freedom of speech thing to keep you from going after the government from being able to get their users who were even violating the terms of the site and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Versus just kicking
But
them off.
yeah, or even if they kicked them off, like the government could come up and be like, we want a subpoena, we got a subpoena, we want to know where this person's IP address leads to and shit. And
Right.
some of these companies would fight that shit, or people would look down on the companies who cooperated with that shit, so it's a really messy situation. But that was a big part of it, was that user driven content was not being regulated, and so the companies could allow that stuff to happen. And of course that means people reaching out to your 12-year-old. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's just no regulation there, and because our government has decided to be more hands off, and because technology moves faster than the speed of laws, they're
Yes.
always doing some shit that to avoid regulation, and then ignoring the consequences of avoiding regulation. Because who else likes avoiding regulations? People that are abusers, people that are criminals, people that
Yes.
are exploitative. So yeah. I think Facebook could be fine if you have family connections. I joined at 12 years old, and I think having my aunts and grandma's friends kept me in line. I mostly use it to tag my best friends in cute pics and post song lyrics. These are my opinions as someone who's used social media since I was 10 or 11. It wasn't all bad, but it wasn't all good either. I say 15, 16 is an okay time to have a personal social media account. Yeah, I mean, like I said, all of the stuff varies per kid and regulation, but
Mhm.
when the Surgeon General's like, yo, 13 seems to be too early. I think that's a hard one for me to not agree with. Like, because you know why? You know why it seems to be too early? Because even if you admit that you would let your kid on there, all of us are saying it was a huge caveat. It's like, and I'd monitor everything that was happening. You see what I'm saying? It's like if I said 13 is too early to drive a car. And you're like, well, it's not too early if I'm in the car and I got a steering wheel and I got brakes and I got the gas pedal on my side too. It's like at some point we are saying like, oh, then it is too early because driving for the most part is just you get in the car and you drive. Like,
Right. You hop in, you going through a process.
yeah,
Like if you have to put all these barriers and caveats and all this shit around it, like you said, you're still saying that it, for some people it is still too early.
right. So yeah, but like I said, I'm not telling y'all what to do. I don't have
Mhm.
kids. It's just I do understand the reasoning of like there's got to be an age where with what we have allowed social media to be, if we're gonna be unrestricted on there, there's gotta be something. Like, I mean, something as simple as like Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Almost every tweet I have now gets replied to by a spam sex account, like
Mhm.
some woman with no clothes being like, you have any time for this or whatever. And it's like he decided at some point to just not regulate his own website. And so now we have that. Now imagine if I'm, a kid. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Somebody is just sending me porn every time I tweet something. I'm pretty sure most parents think there's an age where that's not appropriate for their kid to be exposed to.
Agreed.
But Twitter doesn't have that. The Twitter's like, if you have an account, you can see some titties. Oh well.
Right. And so that, so I'm like you, I understand both perspectives. I understand some parents like the fuck no. Like y'all don't have any
Right.
regulations. Why would I throw my child out there to the wolves?
So the poll results. Oh, sorry. Let me check the comments and see if there's anything comment wise. Okay, yeah, we got a couple comments on YouTube. Broadway 510 says loving the content. Thank you.
Mhm.
Carrie Moon 1 says, I agree 100% with the Surgeon General. People under 17, 18 should never have been allowed to sign up for certain social media sites to begin with, namely Facebook, outside of what it became as far as misinformation, pushing certain profiles at the top of your feed and over others, and the invasive ads, etc. They were better when they only allow college students and grads, mature or immature by start of freshman year is still a different landscape in spaces kids that young aren't allowed to enter. They really could have tried to create a kid-friendly version like YouTube did. P.S. I can only say, my God, why to that Fast 10 commercial. And yes, them Black Tubi movies be god awful, and it only took once to accidentally turn one on for more than 5 minutes to run the other way from that rabbit hole. Yeah, my favorite thing is watching, and I don't mean this to shit on y'all, but y'all know who y'all are. You motherfuckers that love going down the Tubi rabbit hole, but then got the nerve to come out your mouth and be like, Ant-Man CGI was too, man, suck my dick.
Come on
You are
now.
finding enjoy. I'm behind on X Good Show. I don't know if I'm like this Game of Thrones, but nigga, you watch 12 Tubi shows. Shut the fuck up. These
Right.
niggas are recording this shit with a goddamn Nokia brick, and y'all out here got some nerd act like you got some taste. You don't got no goddamn taste, nigga. The motherfucking editing is all fucked up. People wearing the wrong outfits, bullet holes going in the wrong place. Shit look like Nollywood. Shut the fuck up. You don't have
No
no.
continuity.
Yeah, judge yourself, nigga. Judge yourself every time you turn that shit on. Fuck out of here, Tom. I don't know, man. The dragons on the last season of Game of Thrones. Some of the scenes were too dark, nigga. Everything on Tubi too dark. That's what it should be called. Too dark. That's what too. That's what that shit should be called. That shit is terrible. You niggas talking about some like you got some taste. I don't be respecting none of y'all opinions now. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just saying, Severance was, yeah. You know what else is boring? Shows where motherfuckers be inside the house, and then in the next scene, the next clip, they be outside the house, but nobody explain nothing. That's just as bad to me. That's worse. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy Tubi. You know, it's good that people have a place to just put anything. Apparently,
Yeah, like I said, and I mean, but like this, Ray J say, be who you want to be, love who you want to love. Like we don't have no problems with that. But what you're not gonna do is turn around and take somebody done put some effort in and be like, that's some bullshit.
just don't talk to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't enjoy Tubi. I'm just saying next time you fix your lips to be like, well, you know what, Wakanda forever. Hey man, shut the fuck up. That's all I'm saying. You like Tubi stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to judge, dog. Okay, that's all we saying. It's like when people write in, like, I eat Arby's, right? So then you should never get to talk about other people's food. Enjoy the Arby's. That's all we asking.
And they minding their business. They're like, now why am I in it?
They not minding their business. That's that problem, Karen. They not. If they would mind their fucking business, we wouldn't get 37 emails every time it comes up. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. I eat Arby's. I really don't have room to tell somebody that a steak whenever I say, let me get my steak well done, I should shut the fuck up. I don't know what I'm talking about. My taste buds have carcinogens in them.
You better get out here. You better get out here with that fucking rubber ass tire.
Right. Now somebody's gonna write in next week like, I eat Arby's and I eat rubber tires. I love those. Karen, you need to shut the fuck up. And that's how I feel about Tubi people. Anyway, Anchor. The poll results, 88% of people say 13 is too early to join social media, and 12% say no. So even more people say too early. Q&A. Is it your right? It's your right. I'm sorry. It's your right to get super drunk and throw an axe. Wyoming. That's the law they passed. Jen says it's your right to get super drunk responsibly. Correct. Drink responsibly, guys. Ignacio,
like they always tell us.
Ignacio says that's done. That's that Florida level shit. Raphael says, I say free Davion. Let's sponsor him in the chicken roping Olympics. I'll start the GoFundMe. He read Zoo and wants to save humans. Then again, Wyoming might not like a brother winning. Black history. Nelson says,
man,
shit.
Yeah, we come in there winning the chicken roping, all hell will break loose.
Yeah, who knows what kind of roping they gonna be doing. Right. Nelson says, shit, they got them in Brooklyn. I had a good time throwing them axes. Creasy says, yes, it is. I love
chicken roping. Oh, he's about throwing them axes. That game, they got one here in Charlotte.
Yeah, every time we leave the Hornets game, we walk by the axe throwing place.
And I'll be looking like, hell no.
Yeah, I just don't know why it's like if you, and maybe they do this, but it's like if you had a bar at the fucking gun range. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just like, it just don't seem smart. But what do I know other than to not have my ass up in there? But it don't seem smart.
Say, they might be having a ball, but I'm looking like, but bitch, it's an axe. Is you chopping down trees?
Like bowling isn't really safe if you think about how drunk you get and how heavy them balls is. But I definitely think an axe I think an axe or a gun or a sword is definitely like that. Creasy says, yes, it is. I love axe throwing. And Roger PJ says, it's also your right to hide the fact that you made a chicken jingle, Chris Lambert.
Chris did make
that dude sound just like Chris.
Exactly like Chris.
Chris was acting like he couldn't hear it. Chris was acting like he couldn't hear it, but I think he's moonlighting as a chick. He don't want to. He don't want to be on my coon list, so he trying to moonlight as a chicken salesman.
Come on,
admitting it.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. We know that's you.
Yeah, he afraid that I'm gonna be like, you know, today's content is Chris Lambert. You know, episode.
We love chicken too, Chris.
Episode 2673 of Valentine's Day Late. Ramsey D. Jenkins says, hey, family, 5 stars for the coverage of chicken roping. Angela says, hey, Rod and Karen, thanks for the awesome podcast, especially while Rod is out here working on game theory. The cancellation of Black History Food Camp is a dracarys for me. Like you said, these folks are no better, if not worse, than the white bigots who are trying to erase our history, achievements, culture, and contributions to this country. Quite often the never satisfied crowd is obsessed with the thought that white people pay attention to and care about everything we do. When I was in law school, some of our Black student union members worried about offending white students when we posted BSU meeting flyers around the school. One of my friends asked his white friend about it. He said that whenever she saw a sign that with Black or BSU on it, she ignored it as she didn't think it applied to her. Like she would see the word Black or BSU and literally stop reading. I would guess that most white folks feel this way when we aren't trying to quash the inclusion of history in our culture. So many of these fools didn't know that the Black national anthem existed until the national Klan leaders on Fox and in Congress told them to be offended and angry about it. Yeah, even like, here's the thing with white folks, they not concerned about us in general.
We live
And I'm not saying that they're not racist or any of this shit. I'm just saying your average white person is not really sitting around contemplating on Black people all day. In some ways is that in some cases that's why shit get so fucked up, right? Because they don't put intentionality into their thoughts, you know. But the amount of people that I saw that, I mean, well-meaning people that just don't even know shit like the Black anthem, which the NFL has been singing for several years now, and they still every fucking year go, there's a Black national anthem. They don't care and they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not notable. It's notable to us. You know, we know the people that sing it before the Super Bowl. We look forward to the shit. To be honest, Cheryl Lee Ralph sang it this year, and they're looking like
gorgeous
a poinsettia.
Come on, looking like a whole ass snack.
Yeah, and all the Black people on my timeline was going down like oh my god, you know. So all that shit to say, like, I just don't walk around with the operating assumption that we are the main character in white people's minds at all time. I think it's more the opposite. And so when stuff like this happens, I start working backwards to like, how did it happen? What was probably the process? And most people who have not thought about these things think it's some white person making fun of Black people as a joke, deciding to just destroy their entire company to get one racist jab in at Black people during Black History Month.
And
now, what think
furthest from that is normally starts with somebody Black.
What do you think the fucking odds are of that? And why can't we just read more of the article and realize what was happening? But yeah, you know, it just is what it is. People are mostly shallow-minded and stupid when it comes to these type of topics. They don't read. They don't like. These are not people that know history, and they don't understand that this is the other side of the coin of erasing history. It's the, you know, like Ron DeSantis wanting to take it out of the school books is just as dangerous as us trying to take it out of the culture because somebody might feel a way. Speaking, let's see. Oh yeah, if the issue is that these complaining Black folks are too traumatized and ashamed to go to food history camp, then they can skip it. Run to the summer camps where they learn about raisins and potato salad, unsweetened Kool-Aid, and microwave fried chicken. Don't stop me and mine from learning about our impressive history. Those kids missed out on learning some amazing history and skills because
they did. And some adults. I shit, bitch, I would have signed up for it. Can I just be in the background? Like, can I take notes? Shit.
Those kids missed out on learning some amazing history and skills because of the insecure and uninformed protesting. Yeah, and what I keep thinking too is like people loved High on the Hog on Netflix. Black people were sharing the fuck out of that and being like, why can't we have more of this? This is more of that. It's the same people. And people are like, I'm insulted, it's racist now. Why? When did it become racist?
It don't make sense.
So I just don't know. We have a complicated insecurity around Black history. Well-meaning people think we're protecting each other by not talking about it, and racist people don't want us to talk about it because their kids are gonna feel bad. Right. You know who else need to be in these classes? Fucking white kids. They need to be learning about the culinary contributions that Black people have made to American cuisine as well. Like it's just nothing to be ashamed of here. I'm sorry, but I'm not ashamed, and you can't make me ashamed of my fucking culture.
Right. You can't make me ashamed. You can't make me feel bad. You can't make me back down. You can't make You can't make it appear that I'm the problem when I say this shit don't bother me. I'm the coon because I'm saying I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm the coon because, like you said, I saw some black person thought about this and bought it to somebody and went through the whole process. And the thing is, I've even heard people saying, well, they need to consult people. Well, put like this. Let's say they did consult people. Let's say they did do a survey, and that's what the people wanted, and that's what they did. You niggas would still have a problem. So the problem isn't that. The problem is that you would have a problem no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. And yeah, we just train people to not be very thoughtful on the shit. Like
Correct.
they think they're helping us by supporting the people that are like, I was embarrassed to see some chicken in the cafeteria, and they think the right thing to do to support them is to be like, yeah, because we support black people. It is embarrassing. And I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just doing what the most angriest person is telling you to do. That doesn't always mean it's right. There's more than one. We're not a monolith, but there's more than one way for black people to consider this shit. And just read the fucking articles and you'll see, like in the case with that watermelon and fried chicken shit, it's a black person who just who's a chef that worked at the place that was like, yo, I want people to experience the culture of our food. What the fuck? They got in trouble 3 years ago when they did the same thing with that same company and they did like ribs for Black History Month. That's not even fucking fried chicken, watermelon, ribs.
Right.
What the fuck can we eat? What the fuck can we use to celebrate?
Just say skip it. Just say skip it. Like you don't want to admit it. Just say fuck it. Fuck Black History Month.
Join Ron DeSantis and just don't put it in the schools at all.
Correct.
Fuck you. Speaking of microwave fried chicken, my son's PWI had some mac and cheese and fried chicken for Black History Month. Folks were loading up the plates and containers to take home to their dorms. Yep, that was us every Sunday. Granted, the last time the school served chicken, it was Atlanta pink. Ugh, even though a lot of cafeteria staff is black. My son couldn't figure out what had happened, but the meal is now approved and the students are happy with the new chicken. Thanks again for awesome shows, Angela. Yeah, now that would be racist. If they served chicken and the shit wasn't done, that would be racist. And that'd be racist any month for the record.
Correct. And you know what also made people mad? And I know chicken is chicken, but you show with some baked chicken, niggas be like, why I gotta be baked? Why can't it be fried? Like you would always have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't even want to be like one of these people, but I guess I just gotta be like a old head for a second. But I am just not soft like these niggas. You know what I mean? It's like, who built you, bro? Why you that soft? I wish I would walk into a motherfucking Black history cuisine and be like, white people gonna see me eat fried chicken. I don't know about this. You know what the white people that's seeing you do it is doing? They eating it too.
Right, ain't thinking about your black ass.
Ain't no like, yeah, you not the main character here, dog. Have the chicken and move the fuck on with your life.
Yeah, and
like if anything, calling the news brought more attention to the shit you claim to be insecure about. I don't like. Why were you so sure you were right? That's so weird to me. Who raised you? Have you been around white people your whole life? And then is that what it is? Like you always feel like this? Or well, I don't. This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me.
And a lot of it boils down to white supremacy. We all have been impacted by it. And it's one of those things where things happen. And like you said, white people ain't thinking about us, but we're always thinking about them. So all of a sudden, we take everything they do as a personal attack towards us as individuals. Like me, like this is about me. Bitch, it ain't about you. Ain't about thinking about you. Ain't about considering you. You put like this. You was not on the agenda.
But you know what's worse, Karen? You know what's worse, Karen? The person that was thinking about you was the black person that worked at that fucking cafeteria.
Right, because nobody else was.
The person that was thinking about showing you love through your fucking own culture and food. And here's the thing. I would go with this. If I had ever heard even one story in my entire fucking 44 years of life of someone saying, I was offended they served egg rolls during Chinese during the month of celebrating Chinese.
Somebody get mad about
I was mad that they had lasagna for Italian American week. Like I've never heard it. So why am I the only one that's the joke?
Right.
I don't understand what inherently makes my culture a joke. That's not inherent anti-blackness that's in everybody. Because if you ain't got an answer, shut the fuck up and let me enjoy my goddamn chicken in peace.
Right, right. For Jewish people, why are they serving matzo balls? Don't nobody come up in there and be like protesting matzo balls and shit. Get out of my
Yeah.
face.
Like you talking about a problem that's much bigger than a fucking meal, and you
Right.
don't want to address that problem. So now we
Mm,
got to pretend that the food is the issue. No, nigga, the issue is internally in you. Your patronizing bullshit is in you. Your looking down on us is in you. That's in you. The insecurity of you as a black student, that shit is in you. I don't think my shit is inferior. If
mm-mm.
they said we celebrating black music tonight and I walk in and they playing hip hop and all this shit, I'm not gonna be like, why they got to play the hip hop? I'm gonna be like, yeah, because that's my motherfucking culture, nigga. If we actually this night would be whack if it wasn't here.
Right.
Anyway, Appia says, I'm glad we are not hearing Trump so much. I don't think it's bad. He is 100% doing the worst shit, and reporting it would only give him momentum. I remember when I was a child and living in Poland, I heard that people in Germany, the rich, look down on the chicken meal because it's poor people food. Poor people food equal us in Poland. I don't think this was ever true, but that's what my family thought. Yeah, I don't know enough about white people to know y'all's cultural ties to chicken, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
So that's interesting that there is one in that area that people would look down on it. Norby says, hey Rod and Karen, or I think it's Norbc, I believe. Hey Rod and Karen, I haven't finished the episode yet, but I just got finished listening to the summer camp story fucking with black people. I wanted to drop my 2 cents as well. I feel like social media and what it is doing to our collective brains makes it easier for people who without it would not get the time of day, mess things up for the rest of us. A couple of years ago, I worked in a piece of legislation, like wrote much of the language and then worked to get it passed, that included a universal income for low income black pregnant women, people in California. It was a part of many programs that we were pushing to close the gap of black maternal mortality. We got it passed, yay. And a group of black women who had dedicated their lives to black maternal health started putting the program together in the details. Once they got the program together late last year and started to advertise the program so that black women across California that qualify would know that this is available to them, $1,000 a month to do whatever you need for 2 years, buy diapers, pay your light bill, pay for a night nurse, or lactation counseling. There were several people on the internet with lots of follows, hundreds of thousands, telling black women not to do it because it was a trick and that we were going to try and steal their baby's DNA and other crazy stuff. By the way, there's no blood drawn or medical anything to be a part of the program, only some paperwork to ensure that if you get the money and have other benefits like food stamps, you don't lose that for receiving extra money every month, and that you meet the qualification, a parent or a pregnant, not rich by California standards. I was floored. It then ended up on a popular social media black IG account with this suspect headline, and folks started making all types of crazy assumptions about how this was white people trying to do experiments on black babies. A simple Google search would have shown that the person running the program is a black woman doctor who is a mother of a black boy who is amazing and fights for black women every day and is behind the program and working with several black orgs across California. Anywho, the program is still here. It didn't get shut down. But I keep thinking about all the black women who might have benefited from the program who won't, because some random ass person on the internet, like folks not even in health, one person does hair for a living, was like, this ain't good for black folks. It just breaks my heart how some of us just kill or try to kill good things for us because of their own trauma and hurt. And now we have a way to amplify the trauma to impact other folks. P.S. I apologize for all the extra details, but I feel like it was important to get the already misinformation around it. It's fine.
No.
Oh, and I'm almost done. And if it's not obvious, I'm also a black woman who is a mom. Just on the off chance folks assume that I wasn't a black woman behind the policy as well. Norbese. Oh, Norbese. Okay. Oh, so close. Or Nana is fine. All right. Cam, what were you going to say?
I'm about to say what you described was the cycle. What you described is somebody black that actually loves us and cares about us, comes with these great ideas. They get laws passed. They do these things to get it out there. Somebody who knows nothing about it, like you say, not in their field, don't live in these states. That's what happened a lot of times too. These niggas don't even live in these, so they are not impacted by these shit a lot of times whatsoever. They don't live in these states. They are not impacted by it. Mm-hmm. They, because their internal thing makes shit up. And like I said before, they make it about them because of white supremacy. All of a sudden, it's white people. And white people ain't thinking about us. White people didn't come up with the ideas, but it does not matter. And a lot of, because social media has made everything to the point where people have no critical thinking skills, and people, a lot of people are followers. People will not admit, a lot of people are followers. They do things just following people. They don't actually have their own thought process. They don't actually analyze shit. They don't actually use any critical thinking skills. They don't ask themselves, is this right or this wrong? They don't ask themselves, why don't I like this person? This person they didn't like they don't question things whatsoever. And if they really did, the foundation of what they think came from somebody else. It did not generate from a genuine place within themselves, or something directly impacted them. It's they're looking around and everybody else is doing it, so they're doing it too. And it's one of those things where it creates this fake and false anger about something that actually they should not be mad about. Because you know what? If these people were to do their research, if these people were to be proven wrong, because I guarantee you, these people out here spouting that shit, guarantee you people's up underneath them going, hey, dog, you're wrong. They don't care. Because you know what they're rewarded for? They're rewarded for amplifying themselves. You know, they're rewarded for getting their thing out, regardless of if it's right or wrong or indifferent. And guess what? The retraction doesn't get the same energy as them being wrong. And it can be very frustrating. Go ahead. What are you saying, baby?
And a lot of them are, their content is Black grievance.
Yes.
Like a lot of people are content creators of sowing this type of discord in social media and stuff. And you know, these are some of the same people that were able to, you know, tell us why we shouldn't vote, you know, and shit, until they got a check of some time, you know, and then all of a sudden they was ready to support the candidates that they swore they was against and shit. Like I remember that, you know, like you can't trust these motherfuckers. So unfortunately, these are the people that grab on to shit like this. And it's not just who you would think. It's not always your Dr. Umars and shit. A lot of these people are people you think would be concerned and supportive of the legislation that they claim to want to see that doesn't exist. But the second that it is actually created, they go, this is not right anymore, because it, you know, I actually like the grievance more than I wanted a solution.
Correct. And that's the part where I'm gonna tell you right now, be it right, wrong, or indifferent, it frustrates me, because it's one of those things where I get to the point where my anger comes in with people like that. I'm like, bitch, what are you doing? Nigga, what are you doing? What are you doing other than complaining? What are you doing? Are you passing laws?
Yeah, I think
what are you doing?
I think a lot of them, the evidence of what they're doing is their social media. Like, you know, that was one of the big.
Okay, and to me, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that was one of the big red flags for me that I picked up on over the years, was that a lot of these people's quote unquote work was the work they were doing via Twitter and shit, and then they would try to because there can only be one, you know, activism Highlander shit. That meant that anyone that was either in their way more popular than them on social media was doing it wrong, right? That's number one. But it also meant that people that were doing shit offline was somehow wrong and not to be listened to, you know? Right. And the people that were doing activism where if I walked outside, where they walk down their block and people know their name and their face, they're not necessarily as popular on Twitter.
Because they working.
Like, the people that matter and the people they know, those people are fucking thankful for them. Whereas social media is so fucking
it's like bizarre world
that you can be worshipped online and you get that adulation that feeds that narcissism and all that shit. You get that and you become known as, you know, the person for Black TikTok or whatever the fuck, you know, you're in the videos, you're at the events, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your impact is felt anywhere but basically online, right? You know, and so that self-aggrandizing comes in, and it becomes, if I didn't stamp this legislation, if they didn't fly me out, then this isn't gonna work and it's not right and there's something wrong with it. Only trust me. Don't trust the black women that worked on this. The same thing happened with the vaccine, where they had the doctor that was a black woman, and people would be like, "No, trust me." That's just a trick. That black woman that worked on that don't care about black people. Like, it's that type of shit and it has to be that way, because at the end of the day, how do I get you to give me all your power? It's by telling you there's no one else you can listen to, not even yourself. I figured it out, everybody. And in those ways, me and Bossy talk about this all the time. In those ways, even liberal spaces can become like that QAnon shit. We have our own QAnon type shit.
Yes, we do.
We just don't see it as threatening, because enough of us either believe it, participate in it, or know people that are kind of down with it, that we're like, oh, no, it's not like that at all. But when you just look at the power structure of it and the way these conspiracies take on their own life with no need for proof, it is, to me, a scary thing. And it can, how many black women were harmed because these are resources they could have had, they did not get. We're trying to help black maternal health. Do you understand how fucking important that is?
Right.
And you playing games on Twitter with it? That's crazy to me.
Right. And, to an extent, people wouldn't look at it like this. But if you are not aware and alert, and a lot of people like to quote unquote brag about how they are above, and they would never quote unquote be caught up in the cult. But you are. For a lot of people, it's online cult. I might not go to your church. I might not worship you every day. You might not fly me off in the middle of nowhere, but it is a form of a cult, because you are easily influenced. You're angry all the time, upset all the time, sad all the time, mad all the time. And it's because you look online, and a lot of these people are influencers, and you follow them. You every word they say, they can't be wrong. You don't challenge anything they say. And it's one of those things where that's very, very, very scary. And people with critical thinking skills, like you say, I see it on the right and I see it on the left. But, for some people, they think their side is right and the other side is wrong. But the technique is the same. It is actually the same, and I've said this before, but, have people ever questioned like why they're upset at certain things with certain celebrities and shit like that? No, they just go, everybody's mad, so I'm mad too. Everybody's upset, or everybody don't like them, or that's the wave, so I am too. Yes, sometimes you can have critical thinking skills. You can be like, okay, I have my own thoughts and I don't like them. Cool. But for a lot of people, there's no critical thought process behind it.
Yeah, I think the rejection of that for me I realized what it was for most people is it's a loyalty test.
Mm-hmm.
It's a loyalty test. The same thing a cult does, same thing a church does, is a gang. It's a loyalty test. We don't like this person, and you need to prove how much you don't like them, because then you can be our friend. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, or separating people from their families. Like, I think one of the worst things that people do online is every time there comes like a holiday or something, they encourage folks to go home and fight with their family. I'm like, for what? So, because when they come back and tell you about it, you're just gonna call them either stupid or a liar. It's not like you ever go like, good for you, you can be our friend now. They be like, why you even got a racist uncle in the first place? It's like, nigga, don't nobody control that.
Right.
It's not like you get born and you get to pull out the settings on your family and be like, I'm gonna turn them up to 90 for racism. Like, it doesn't work that way.
It don't work like that.
We all got a weird uncle we don't talk to. Like,
right.
or like we all got that one motherfucker you don't want to sit to next to Thanksgiving, and they're a staple of the family, and we all kind of go on this motherfucker. But it's funny because I think I just really dialed into the last few years what is real to me versus the illusion of online and the signaling and stuff. And I have found myself to be more comforted with reality than like the illusion of being perfect or any of the shit that is sold to us. I think it is more relatable and honest for me to be like, yeah, I got my one aunt that every fucking Thanksgiving calls the Cowboys the Cowgirls, and it's a bit of a homophobic or transphobic or anti-feminist. It's something. I don't know the exact words, but it's something. Mm-hmm. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You're not supposed to do that. But I bet you more of you can relate to that because it's honest and true, and you got somebody in your family that do that shit or something like it, and you roll your eyes. You like slap the fucking Thanksgiving plate out their hand and kick them out the house.
Right.
And I bet you more of you can relate to my honesty there than if I were to either lie to you or tell you like I don't go to Thanksgiving. My aunt said cowgirls one time, so eat I just eat Chinese food in my house by myself every Thanksgiving. Like, no, y'all would be like, either this nigga lying or he's over fucking reacting, because you know what? I'm gonna go to my Thanksgiving and I'm gonna be looking at my fucking aunt that makes the inappropriate joke and I'm gonna roll my eyes, or everyone's gonna laugh, and then we're gonna continue watching the game. That's the real truth. And I think that's what doesn't exist enough on our social media, because all our social media is a presentation to other people of what we want to seem like and not who we are.
Agree. Yeah, yeah. And for a lot of people, they would rather be. Well, social media tells the truth on people. A lot of people would rather be presented with lies than presented with the truth, because the truth isn't pretty, and the truth makes you challenge yourself, and the truth makes you analyze shit, and the truth, you can't look at the truth and go black white. The truth is gray sometimes because it's the truth.
The truth is just more relatable to me, but you got to choose to live in that shit. You know, it's like when I talk about, you know, I read all these fucking books. I do. I'm in these, listening to these conversations. But I'm not a perfect person or anything. But I come from the same quote unquote toxic background as many other niggas. But at the same time, like, I will tell people like, yeah, I've had conversations with people that maybe they was homophobic and I said something. There's also been times they said something and I just moved the fuck on with my life, because I'm not gonna spend I don't have the 20 minutes to sit down with this nigga, let him be ignorant and hope that I'll reach him at some point. I don't have the time.
Right.
And it probably ain't gonna happen anyway. But pick and choose my spots. But like, it's the honesty people, I think, either can't handle or they love about you. The authenticity, they either can't handle it or they love it about you. And here's the thing, I love Black people. I love us, flaws and all. So even in our worst moments, even when I'm angry as fuck, even when you are just not my type of person. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, there's an undercurrent that I'm rooting for you, whether it's just even to wake up or to change or to become more self-aware or to look at things differently. There's an undercurrent there. Maybe that's where the anger comes from. But to me, that's what I learned that love was. And I don't mean it's all anger, but there was never a time in my house where I felt like I was cast out of my house. There was only times when I felt like, you know, the anger was that I let them down, or that I, you know what I'm saying? Like, or that I disappointed them, but I never felt unloved. You see what I'm saying? Right. But a lot of people, especially after the invention of social media, they equate letting someone down, being considered anything less than perfect, as being unloved. Because we think love is just, we think it's just adoration and worship, and it's not. Like, love sometimes is, my guy, I love you, but do not come around me and saying stuff like, you know, no, just like no, I don't even know how to, the H word. No homo. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's Black people that say that, Black dudes that say that a lot. I don't like people that say that around me. Now I can't control what they do when they're not around me, and I actually totally can't control what they do when they with me. Some people will continue to say it even after I objected to it. But what I'm saying is, I can still love that person because I know what created that person and where they came from, the pressures on them, and want better for them, and be like, I still think you shouldn't do that. I still think you're better than that. I think you can learn the same way I learned. That shit ain't cool. You see what I'm saying? That's a light example, but y'all know what I mean. And so all that to say, like, that's a murkier type of reality that most of us exist in. But online it's very much like, and I punched that nigga in his mouth. I got in my Black History police car and drove off. You know, it's like, that's not right.
Right. I came into Thanksgiving, I kicked everybody out, punched my grandma in the eye, and said, "Oh, bitch, I'm not gonna deal with this no more." You're like, okay, yeah. Like, you really went in there and fucking ruined Thanksgiving. Then I turned the whole turkey over and said, "You ungrateful niggas, get out my house." That did not happen.
It didn't happen, dog. I got an aunt that probably voted for Trump. I don't ask because I don't want to know. Be real with y'all, okay? She come in the crib, we just talk about other shit. I don't got the time, bro. I'm not flexing for Twitter here. It's just I just want to know, did she make the greens with the ham in it or not? You know? All right. No comments on YouTube. The poll was, did you give/get anything for Valentine's Day? 50-50 on the website. And of course, the people with money, actually 43% yes, 57% no. And I think it's just a lot of people out here. First of all, I think those are high percentages. Like that 50-50 is high and 43% is kind of high. And the thing I was gonna say, you know what's crazy? At some point with Valentine's Day, you stop giving and getting stuff from friends.
Yeah.
Like, remember when you were in school and it was okay to just like bring Valentine's Day gifts for the whole class?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't anything like sexual about it or romantic.
Nope.
It was just like, it's love and it's just a nice thing to do. One of the people at our office gave, I don't know if she gave everybody, but she definitely gave me and a few other people some like candied hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even like candied hearts. Those are like low key. Peeps might be better.
The ones that taste like chalk.
Yeah, Peeps might be better than candy. Candy corn is definitely better than candy hearts. We don't talk about this enough. The chalk ones, not the sweet tart ones, but the chalk ones with the message on it that's like, I love you or whatever.
Yes.
Those shits are like the worst. Do you suck on them? Do you chew them? What's the right thing to do?
I don't know. All I know is they always taste like chalk when you bite into
like
them.
Chalk. Yeah, they just taste like chalk. Anyway, so she did that, but it just made me think like the number would be so much higher if we still did sweet things like get everybody a holiday, a Valentine's Day card and like a sucker or something like we used to do back in the day. Like, anyway, the comment was, don't forget to shop in our merch store. And the reason I wrote this is a reminder to myself to tell y'all we have some new merch in our merch store.
Mm-hmm.
I made it to show art for the last 3 episodes, but I know a lot of y'all liked when we made the when I made the Black Mama Monthly magazines. Mm-hmm. And I took like stock photos of Black women, and then I like put slogans and stuff from our childhood, stuff that our mamas would say to us, and made magazine covers like it was a real magazine, Black Mama Monthly. And I had so much fun doing that I brought them back just randomly the other day and posted them on social media. Like, remember when we did this? And people were like, yeah, oh, I love those. And a couple of people said, y'all should put that on a t-shirt or something. And I was like, well, we use pictures of other people that we don't own. So I didn't want to put those on there and, get the shit taken down. They're like, nigga, Monique, you don't own Monique's likeness.
All right.
So instead, what I did was I had some vector art done. That's just a silhouette. And then I added the headlines back to the piece. And so now you can go buy t-shirts, posters, coffee mugs, whatever, that have Black Mama Monthly magazine on there, and you too can experience the hits of some of the titles and the articles, like Screen Doors, a look at 32 unslammed masterpieces.
Not unslammed.
Boo Boo the Fool, do you look like him?
No, my answer is no.
Well, read the magazine to find out. They've been quiet too long. What are them kids up to?
Yes, it's too quiet.
Yeah, so hopefully people enjoy those. I think one of them was inside a timeline for regular clothes to become play clothes. So I hope y'all enjoy those, man. Cop a shirt, whatever, do that. Miss Smart said, can we insert our own mother's photos into this? Because that would be great for Mother's Day. I don't think so. I think it just had to be what's the art on the website. I don't know what y'all mamas look like, so I don't want to start no shit. But yo, real talk though, because what I bought myself like 3, the prints. Y'all know what a print is? You can frame them. It's basically just like a piece of paper, and you can frame it and put it up places. I bought myself 3 prints, and honestly, they make some dope Mother's Day gifts. No bullshit. Like, I'm like, y'all just gave me that's a great idea. They have options like a pillow, you could give your mama a pillow and it's got the Black Mama Monthly on it. I think those would be some pretty fucking funny,
If I read it and crack
relatable.
up laughing.
Yeah. So I would, if I was y'all, I'd do it. I mean, look, man, I know I wrote them, so of course I think it's hot, but I really think those shits are very funny. And whenever I reshare the thread when I came up with these, there's so many people that are just like resharing them again, and like Ebony and Jet and everybody was sharing them. So I don't know, man. I go look in our merch store. The link is in our show notes. I really think you might find something you like. So yeah, I put that in there. Coach says it's wolf time. When you said that, I literally laughed so loud in my office. Love you guys. James says the Green Bay lawyer said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out," after being attacked by his or her client. Good God.
I'd have left too.
Yeah, I love how my man came back and was like, I don't want to represent this woman. Okay.
Right.
I ain't
Put
saying
like this.
shit.
I know. Put like this, and y'all shouldn't even protest. He was looking like y'all just seen what happened, right? Y'all do know that I'm not gonna represent it no more, and you know,
Right.
I think it's valid for me to be able to leave.
Right. All right. Let's get into the voicemails. I think we got one voicemail, as apparently fucking Skype needs to reinstall, because every time you click on this shit, it's like, you need to reinstall this. Nigga, I clicked on you last week. What are you doing over there, Skype?
Right.
Every week
Why
is some new
do you
shit?
got a weekly update, but you're still shitty half the time?
What
I
is
don't get
happening
it.
with you? Good God. I
Get
thought y'all
your
had it
life
figured
together.
out. But I'll play some music so I know how to put a commercial later on. You know what I mean? Gotta still pay the bills around this motherfucker. So as soon as my drive loads, I'll go ahead and play some of this music, and then we'll come back in like 30 seconds. I said play. All right, voicemail time. We got one from Katrina.
Hi guys. Hi. I was about to say Tina. What the hell? Hi. Oh my God. Precious. I'm gonna call back. I'm not awake.
Okay, no problem. It was early. Let's see. She did call back. Let's see if she got to do over.
Okay, I got it together now. Rod and Karen, this is Katrina at Number One Feeling. I'm sorry, I'm so exhausted from like grading and book writing, but I had to call because I was listening to the episode where y'all talking about that woman who says that coming off of birth control made her gay, and it made me realize, holy shit. No, I'm not supporting her assertion here. Obviously, there's some shenanigans, but it reminded me that when I came off birth control, I had this crazy burst of sexual like energy that like felt so weird. And then I happened to also break up with my fiance like months later. And then months later, all this happened within the same year, back in 2005. I also did meet the woman who would become my wife and realized that I was queer. But I am not supporting that woman who's trying to blame her queerness on coming off birth control. But there is some kind of hormonal regulation that is definitely going on. And my doctor had advised me to come off of it when I was going through all of these health issues. And I was on a very high dosage of birth control at the time. So there was definitely some hormonal changes that happen to you after you come off after a long time. So whatever was being suppressed in her, and I'm sure there are other environmental and emotional factors that contributed to her change in sexuality, part of which is just allowing herself to feel those things, which, is what happened to me. But I just had to call and say that. I'm actually writing about that in a book, which is why I'm also exhausted right now. But I hope you guys are good. Love you. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right. I appreciate you. I need the scientists to chime in on it. I hear what you said, but it sounds like the evidence on your side supports that other woman's claim. You just don't want to admit it. But we don't know how the human body works. I don't know what's in birth control, and I bet the people that made it don't really know. They probably put it out like good enough. It's going in women. Ain't no need to do no more tests. Right. Close enough. So
this isn't going to affect our penises other than we get to put it inside and not make a baby.
Right. If anything, if they found out one of the side effects is it make people that's queer behave as cis heteronormative, they probably would have been like, oh, that's an even better effect. Who knows with these motherfuckers? I don't trust them, but I'm not gonna. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna go Black Twitter conspiracy theory. These are all jokes. But let's see what the scientists say in general. Like, I really think, a lot of times with stuff like this, shit be sounding ludicrous. And every once in a while, somebody, some research is done, and then we find out something that we assumed for years wasn't a thing, So who knows, man? The whole hormonal thing definitely, we definitely know it changes people's hormones.
Yeah,
we definitely know it has
all over the place. Yes, because the whole purpose is to control your hormones.
And we definitely know it has adverse side effects where one person's side effects are not the same as another, and people will try different birth controls and be like, okay, this one worked for me and this one didn't, and another person will try it and get different stuff. And we also know that a lot of times doctors don't really seem to know what the fuck they be talking about sometimes, or they'll blanketly prescribe something and then you find out that, like, not believe you when you report your symptoms and shit. So who knows? I'm not saying that's what happened. If you tell me that's not what happened to you, I believe you. But I'm just saying, this woman saying that's what happened to her, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so, but no, I'll never feel 100% certain because I don't be fucking knowing. There's always room for something out there. But it is like a funny premise, because, like, to me, my thing is, okay, then go back on the birth control if you really want to know. We don't want to know that.
Tell the truth.
Got a feeling she don't want to know. She's like, actually, I'm enjoying these 97% orgasm ratios with this lesbian woman. I'm gonna just stay here. Why
go back?
Yeah. She's like, I'm good. Okay, he didn't have double-sided dildos at his house, so I'm great.
No, he did not.
Let's get to the
and they don't vibrate either. At least his don't vibrate.
Yeah, let's get to the mail, the emails. I meant after this brief musical break. Play me out. All right. Emails. Cass always says, hey, Karen and Rod. Just a few thoughts. I know a lot of people didn't watch State of the Union this week, but I saw the reaction from people that night and the next day. It was funny. Wait, did we read this already? Seeing a begrudging respect from some hardcore holdouts gave him. It just further confirms that we're all right about Biden being the right old white man, as most black folks knew. Hopefully they'll get to the point with VP Harris, but people be peopling. Oh, I think we did.
I think we did.
Yeah, okay, we did this one. My bad. I didn't mean to do it twice. Let's see. Okay, here's a new one. This is from Zoe, who says, howdy. It took me longer than expected to publish the show. Oh, never mind. I know what this is. I just want to shout out that we were on Backlook Cinema podcast last week. Or is it Look Back? Hold on, let me not fuck up his name because
I won't say Look Back.
Yeah, that felt wrong when it came out my mouth.
That felt wrong.
And I just want to make sure. I had it right. Okay, I did have it right. The Backlook Cinema podcast.
Thank
You can
you.
find it everywhere you find podcasts. We
Mhm.
were on the latest episode 104, Die Hard with a Vengeance,
Mhm.
and we had such a good time talking about this movie. And y'all know I love me some Impossible White Man. So please check that out if you got a chance and you like, our movie thoughts and movie reviews. So yeah, make sure y'all hop on that and give a listen.
Mhm.
All right, we got a new one, a new beat.
The black guy who tipped.
I always end up. I know. I think it's from my man Psycho Music, but I can't remember if he don't want me to say his government or something. I can't remember the rules, so I think it's from Psycho Music. I apologize if I'm getting this wrong, but he sent us another audio clip that said, I hope this will clear it up. So let's listen to this.
The black guy who tips assumes no responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in the content of this podcast. The information contained on this podcast is provided on an as is basis with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, or timeliness. This podcast contains adult language such as fuck, shit, damn, motherfucker, bitch, pussy, dick, or asshole. If you are easily offended, please feel free to get a life. Also, don't write the show about some shit you thought we said. And never forget, Karen be knowing, and Rod was right. Enjoy the show.
Oh, you know what? That's a valid drop that will be sticking around.
I like that drop. I thank you, baby. You summed up everything in less than 90 seconds. I like that. So
Yeah.
you push play, you know what the fuck you getting, and you can't act shocked and or nor surprised.
I appreciate you, brother. Okay, we need this.
Let them know.
This is the kind of stuff we need around.
This the kind of drop I like.
All right. Black History Month chicken and watermelons from Trina, who says, hi, Rod and Karen. I'm catching up on episodes. I had to pause the story about chicken and watermelon being served on the first day of Black History Month to write this email. I apologize for the length, but I have firsthand experience on this issue. A few years ago, I was working for a startup tech company in the Midwest, which prided itself on the culture it built. They had recently started employee-led fun groups that got together and did fun things for lunches for holidays. Things like Thanksgiving, Sandwich Day, Taco Day, Valentine's Day, nothing too big, just catered food instead of the usual cafeteria fare. I had heard from some colleagues in the Atlanta and Kansas office that their offices were celebrating Black History Month by having catered soul food from a local Black business for a day. Kansas City was even having a jazz musician play during the lunch hours in the eating area. All that sounded great. And I asked our fun group if they were going to do anything like a lunch for our office. I got a whole bunch of crickets, which I scratched my head at because why is it hard to get food catered from a local soul food joint? Yeah, I wasn't even asking for music. Just a chance to support a Black business was enough for me, and to get some chicken, of course. Man, I should have known. Never being one to take I don't know for an answer, I continue my quest. I escalated my inquiry to the lead of our fun team to our office and put her in contact with the Kansas City counterpart for some ideas. We will call them Amy and Keisha, respectively. They got to talking and everything sounded great. So I backed out and let them do the thinking I had done my part. It's important to note here that Keisha is a Black woman, Amy is a white woman, both amazing people and great at what they do. So about a week later, Amy sent our office via email announcing our celebration of Black History Month. We were having a themed soul food lunch catered by a local Black-owned business, chicken, greens, yams, mac, cheese, beverages, and lots, a bunch of desserts, the works. Your girl was excited. I even posted to our all-Black group chat a screenshot of the menu with the caption, "We got lunch, y'all. I can't wait." I knew not what I did. Maybe it was one of the other 4 Black people in my office of the 100 that complained. Maybe it was all of them. Maybe it was the woke white kids who have TikTok. I'll never know, but nigga, that shit turned into a PR nightmare. Amy was at her desk in tears. I suspect she caught holy hell for what people being some racist shit. Keisha called me in the middle of a panic attack, asking why the office leader is asking her for an emergency meeting as her name was attached to the event, and why is Amy crying? Like, what the fuck is happening over there? Y'all, they were going to cancel the whole thing and do some diversity training. HR was going to get involved. I'm in my cubicle with the confused Pikachu face, thinking we're about to be on Channel 9 News. The 3 of us were dumbfounded. The exact same event was taking place in ATL and Kansas City. The majority of the email was a copy and paste. Those offices were excited and going about their business, but here tension was so thick in the office you could cut it with a knife. All this over some Black History Month chicken, nigga. Now, I worked in the IT department. This ain't even my field. I wasn't part of any fun groups. I had my hands full as a 1 out of 2 IT people in the office. But I linked with Keisha and Amy to do damage control because I felt so bad for them. And yes, I still wanted the chicken. I loved it. That was one of the motivations. So I came up with a plan to spare the food and people's feelings. I went to the party store, got some streamers and printer paper in Pan-African flag colors. I spent a day collecting facts on Black inventors and leaders in tech space, printed those out on the colored paper and laminated each one by hand. I put together a slideshow of current Black leaders in tech space that had been shown during lunch. I stayed late helping Amy decorate the eating space in the Pan-African colors with the streamers. I penned a few paragraphs of the importance of celebrating food and family in African American culture, though I was not permitted to mention anything about the origins of soul food in my think piece. I specifically remember Keisha saying, no, we can't mention anything about enslaved people. That topic's too controversial for your office.
What?
Well, I mean, Keisha is the Black woman who is celebrating this with her people in Atlanta and St. Louis. So I feel like Keisha said, your office too sensitive for the shit that we could do. Like, y'all already made a big deal out of us just having this meeting. Right. So y'all motherfuckers can't handle it. Like, if this is Atlanta, we could talk about that and it'd be fine. But y'all ain't. The think piece I penned was sent out alongside the menu in an office-wide email, and everyone was invited to dine on the decorated lunch hall with the different colored laminated reading materials on the tables. The slideshow played on a few big screens, and I set up an iPad and put old school Black music from Spotify over the speakers. The local Black business came in to personally cater the food. They were highlighted in the office-wide email, and they got a nice check for some amazing food. It was a successful event, and photos are shared company-wide. Everyone was happy. The event was beautiful, and I'm proud I could think of something to put it together that quickly, especially since it wasn't my forte. Yeah, if anything, this is something we talked about with Justin on the pregame last week, or I talked about, I guess. But it's like, as a Black person that works in these spaces, you want to impress upon them how important it is to recognize our history. But at the same time, no one wants to like do the work, right? Like I like, we should celebrate Black history. And they're like, cool, you want to be on the committee? No, I'm good. But at the same time, that might be the thing that keeps everybody from going fucking crazy. Is if I'm on the committee being like, guys, I'm a Black person. I have a hand in this. I'm celebrating our culture. This is for me to all of us. Please put your input on this. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to just, I walk away, some white people have taken my advice, and then a white person sends out an email and everybody acts like the white person is now racist.
Right.
For enacting my ideas, empowering me. So it is that catch-22. Like, you shouldn't have had to do any of this. But unfortunately, I see how you ended up doing this because you're a problem solver, and I'm this way too. I'm not a that ain't my job person. I'm a let's just fucking fix it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't got time for the while we over here arguing about who should and shouldn't be doing shit. We could be solving the problem, and then everybody can move on with their life. And it's probably better for everybody that you weren't one of them people that was like, all I said was, y'all should do this. You see what I'm saying? It's probably better that you said, let me just help.
Because then you wouldn't have had an event at all.
Right. And she probably got fired. Y'all would have been diversity training instead of getting chicken and shit. Right. Anyway, so she says, I've never even thought a party, but I did end up laboring for something that wasn't my job and getting behind in my own work because someone was offended. What really grinds my gears to this day is that the person or persons never came to help. No suggestions sent to Amy, no work notes sent to Keisha. I suspect they'd rather have had nothing. I still don't know how I feel about that, especially given the same event minus the bells and whistles went off without a hitch at other offices with large Black populations. I grew up in an all-Black area and have never been ashamed of my Blackness. I wore afros to work. I had bottles of hot sauce on my desk, and I harped about the Black Panther for months at the office water cooler to all my coworkers. But I can see how being raised somewhere like here in the Midwest can create a complex that makes being served soul food during Black History Month offensive. This is also why I was met with silence by the all-white fun team in my office when I first asked. They'd rather do nothing at all than be criticized for trying. I guess I get that too now. Yep.
Yeah, because you have to think from their perspective. Us doing nothing, we didn't get emails, phone calls, angry motherfuckers. We didn't get people busting online. We didn't get none of that because we didn't do shit.
You might get Black people that are grumbling about how we're never recognized or celebrated, but it's easier to deal with that like y'all didn't do nothing for Black History Month than to deal with y'all gave us Black History Month stuff and we don't like it. It was definitely a learning experience for me, and one that I'm still processing. Like Mama always says, people are a trip. What I can say is I now consciously decide for myself what offends me. Being a Black gay woman, there are plenty of things that can offend me. There are plenty of things that do offend me. But being served chicken at lunch during Black History Month just isn't one of them.
Right.
Anyway, y'all keep being great. Thanks for being my play cousins. Appreciate having a resource like y'all to help me through the crazy thing called life. Peace, Katrina. Thank you. That was really good.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yes, like wow. And it's also one of those things where I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but when I go down my agenda of shit to be pissed about, that is not in the top 10. That ain't even in the top 25, bitch. No, if I'm going to get mad about something, let it be some real true shit to tap into that emotion of anger. I think a lot of people are very, very quick to anger about the most minute shit that don't matter. I think also once you get older too, you begin to analyze what do I give a fuck about and what not to give a fuck about, and where to pour my energy into and what not to pour my energy into. And something like this is not worth raising my blood pressure.
I just will just say in general, it's not offensive to me. So it's not even on some like, it's not worth raising my blood pressure or it's not worth getting angry about. I'm just saying I don't find it to be a thing to be angry about. You see what I'm saying? Not on some I'm holding it back or I don't got time. Even if I have the time, I still don't find this to be a problem. I find this to be what should be done during the times that we are highlighting Black history. You know, it's like how people will you go to your parents' house on New Year's Eve if you Black. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're not Black, you probably ain't never heard of this shit till just now, but you eat greens and you eat pinto beans.
Black eyed peas.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Black eyed peas. You eat greens and black eyed peas for the money you want to get next year. Like it's just a thing. It might be a Southern thing, could be regional, but it's definitely a Black thing. And we definitely do it. I've been to houses and we've eaten that meal. Imagine if I was if it was at the cafeteria on the New Year's Eve and they served that, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck is this bullshit? I'd be like, yeah, it's New Year's. My holiday celebrations and traditions are just as valid as any fucking thing else.
Right.
Michael writes saying, white boy logic. Have you ever experienced a scenario that was so cringeworthy that you didn't know whether to laugh or be embarrassed for someone who was so clueless that it's beyond words? I have, in honor of Black History Month, my boss got the great idea to raffle off a 32-inch color television. Here's where the story gets convoluted. My boss couldn't just raffle off the television. No, he had to inadvertently make every white person and Black person at work feel extremely awkward about the whole thing. He had to make rules to accompany the contest. First off, he canceled all days off at work in order to make it mandatory that all Black folks that typically had the day off were present to qualify for the contest.
What?
The day after the Super Bowl to boot. He then had the office work in order to make he then had the office personnel call as many white folks as possible to give them the day off to disqualify them from the raffle. He specifically stated in the rules that if you were not scheduled to work on Monday, you could not qualify for the raffle, which was held the following morning. At the end of the day, many of the 27 Black workers at my job were forced to come into work, even if they were not normally scheduled, just so they could qualify to win a cheap television in the contest with less than a 4% chance of winning. And meanwhile, most of the white folks were given a day off to properly enjoy their massive hangovers at the Super Bowl. Oh well. I got to give my boss an E for effort for that one, but an S for stupidity as well. It was a nice gesture, albeit a tad bit insulting, as the raffle really didn't advance the spirit of inclusion to help educate any of the workers. Or
off, particularly people that was like, this is my normal fucking day and you brought me in here for a fucking cheap ass TV.
But yeah, it didn't include any education or anything about Black history or culture. All I can say at this point is that I'm not looking forward to Latino Heritage Month this September. I'm really going to feel bad for my sole Latino coworker from Honduras. He is forced to come into work with the other 46 guys scheduled off so he can win a crappy television. That's going to be super lonely, a busy day for him when no one is there to help him out. That's funny. John writes in activists, racist police cars, etc. Good morning. My two favorite activists. At least you were out. You were until you got canceled because Rod likes a Mindy Kaling show and momentarily confused Herm Edwards and Tony Dungy. Sigh, so racist. Yeah, you don't know what's real racist. I mean, it's not racist, but I'm like 99% sure. I was walking down the street from work and I saw Hassan Minaj.
Oh, okay.
He was talking to like two other dudes, but at the same time, and I'm not a person that would have stopped him and said anything. And I just don't do. But I was pretty sure it was him. But at the same time, I was like, am I racist? What if he's just a really handsome Indian dude? And here I am thinking all the handsome Indian dudes look alike or some shit. I didn't want to confirm if I was racist or not. So I was like, I'm gonna just leave that alone in my head canon as that was Hassan Minaj. And people was like, it could have been him. He could be working around here or something. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I ain't want the problems. So I just ain't say nothing. Seriously though, you are right about the world of activism and the strict and ridiculous scrutiny, pettiness, hypocrisy, and the infighting that permeates the environment. This is one of the reasons when someone refers to me as an activist, I immediately tell them I'm not. The last thing I need is someone digging through GeoCities to find something problematic I wrote 20 years ago. Right. I don't got the time for that shit.
Because they like to be like, but you righteous. I never said I was righteous. You made that fucking bullshit ass rude and then tried to apply some shit to me that I never said that I was.
Right. I know it's a long shot, but if the MLK police car series becomes a reality, I like to pitch an episode for it. A disgruntled conservative black deputy who looks like David Clark is mad. He joined the force to get power and respect, but even though he founded a racist deputy gang with his fellow officers, they're also racist that they won't even let him lead it. When the MLKKKR, the ML car, is purchased by the department, he sees an opportunity to stand out by borrowing it on the weekends, taking it to car shows and county fairs, where white people will gladly pay $20 to have their pictures taken with him and the car. For an extra $10, they can get a novelty police badge with the words to say you had a right to use the N-word inscribed on it. They sell out fast every time, and he's quickly rolling the money. Naturally, the social justice community is outraged by his antics, which prompts a light-skinned activist who looks like Sean King to start organizing large protests and selling overpriced sweatshirts. The tension is tearing the city apart until the white lady mayor says this is stupid, cut the crap, and orders the police and the activists to come together and film a feel-good hip-hop country crossover video with tons of Pepsi product placement. The campaign makes the police chief finally see the light and decide that no officer should drive the MLK car going forward. So the department converts it to a self-driving electric car for generating good PR by distributing ice cream to random drivers. Unfortunately, the AI contract went to a narcissistic tech dude who looks a lot like Elon Musk. So the car does nothing but crash a lot while blaring epithets and slurs through a siren. The episode ends with a twist where we find out that the deputy and the activists are actually coordinating and working together all along, starring Alfonso Ribeiro. Maybe we can find a ride for Stacey Dash too.
Oh no.
That's pretty good. When you read that story about the robbery of the Girl Scout cookies, my first thought was, oh no, somebody check on Mike B. P.S. Rod, your Black History Month videos and calendar have been so good. Bravo. Cheers. Stay safe, John. Yeah, thank you, man. A lot of people have been enjoying my TikToks, and I've been putting it on Instagram and Twitter too. The couple things I'm finding out more stuff about TikTok and all this through doing this, because I wasn't on TikTok using it at all before, except to just look at butts, which is just my default for most social media. Is like, if it's a social media,
that's the default.
Yeah, it's like I look at butts, but like I don't really have a reason to be on social media. That's not the way I keep up with my friends normally. I'm text them or call them or something. I want to talk about
friends, so. Other than that, why am I here?
Yeah, I'm like, here's a place where people want you to look at their butts. Unless this is the greatest trap of all time, you got me.
You got me. You had me at hello.
So that's what I was using my TikTok for in the first place. But now that I'm making videos, I'm finding out like one, on the weekends, the TikTok is deader than on the weekdays. Like I think when people are at work, they're just scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah,
a lot.
They kill time.
I learned how to use the green screen, and I learned how. I'm sure other people know this shit, But I also learned you can record where like you hold it down and you stop, and then you say something else to stop, and you say something else. So you make it quick cuts. I always wonder how they did. I thought they were like taking it and editing it and then uploading it or something, but you can just do that with your thumb. You can also move yourself on the video. Like you can, so like if I have a picture in the background with the one I use, it's called green screen. I can put myself in front of the picture, and when I want to reveal it, move my thumb, and then I can be down here and they can see the whole picture. Yeah, so I learned some new stuff on there.
Through TikTok editor.
Yeah, I don't know how to do the stuff where like you do some, like you looking at someone else's video reacting to it, which I don't think that's something I necessarily want to do yet. And I saw people that tag me to be like, do you know so and so, y'all should team up and do a video. And I'm like, if you just knew how over my head everything you said was,
right?
like I'm
I'm doing basic shit.
I don't know who this person is. I know they don't know me. I mean,
right,
shit,
I'm not on TikTok like that.
Yeah, I only started posting a week ago, like, you know, whatever. But no, I have been having fun. People really been enjoying them. A lot of people just like every time I do one, they're like, this is the best one yet, which is great because, you know, they was just saying that about the last one or whatever. Everyone is someone's favorite. I do think I'm getting down to the ones that aren't as fun. Like today I did Daniel Cameron, who was the attorney general for Kentucky that did not prosecute those officers for killing Breonna Taylor. It's not really the most jokey one, but the one before that was the Hodge twins, and I got to do a shit ton of jokes about them. So it just kind of depends on which ones, but you know, I'm coming down to like the people that had real power and influence and said some horrible things. And to be honest, the one I'm really not looking forward to, but I just feel like I can't not do him, is Kanye West. I just feel like it wouldn't be right it hurt black people so much that he's a coon. And I know it's mental health related in some areas, but he is still cooning. And I'm not looking forward to like that one gonna hurt. That one gonna hurt a little bit, but I gotta get him. I can't not do him. So that'll be interesting to do. But yeah, I'm glad people are enjoying it. A white woman on my TikTok replied like, is it okay for white people to enjoy these? And I haven't replied back yet, but I was like, if I say yes, I just had to add myself to the coon list. So why would I say what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? I can either say no or nothing at all. I'm not allowed. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I hope white people love picking on black people for being coons. I hope y'all getting the best. No,
it's a trap. Don't fall for that. Just don't say nothing.
Y'all just laugh in private.
Just laugh in private.
Don't y'all be trying to do fucking partnerships with my videos like black man calls another black man a coon, hilarious to me. Like no duets for me, baby. Leave my content alone, or should I say content. Lastly, Pete writes in, hi Rod, thanks for stopping to chat with me and Dana on the street outside the studio. We had a great time at the taping. It was a really funny show. We're big fans of the work you and Karen do on the podcast. It's great to meet you in person. I hope New York City treats you well for the rest of your stay here. And yeah, I met Pete and Dana outside of Game Theory after we finished taping. They're big fans of the Blackout Tips. And so Dana had emailed before to say like, hey, we're coming to the taping. And I said, hey, and I'll say this again, if you're listening to this, if it just let me know, or like, you know, a couple people have like grabbed me like after the show, like hey Rod or whatever, you know, or I'll see them when I'm walking towards Bo's, because I normally go check on Bo after the show just to make sure everything's cool, he's good space, and then head across the street. And so they usher the audience out to like the street. If you stand right there, that's where I exit. So like give me like a couple minutes to just say to check on Bo, and when I walk out, I'll speak. You know, if you just grab me, just say, hey Rod, whatever. I want to see y'all. I want to get a selfie with y'all. You know, if you come out to see our show, the least I can do is be like, hey, how you doing? You know, it ain't got to be a long conversation and shit. It'd be outside, it'd be windy, it'd be cold. I actually do have to get back across the street, but I do want to make sure that y'all are showing some love and appreciation because
Right. For y'all done made the trip out there.
yeah, it's what makes our show special. We have dope ass fans. I love our fans. Y'all are always respectful and nice. If anything, like I saw June say in the chat, it felt like it would be intrusive. Y'all are like me, where I see Hassan Minaj and I'm like, he's talking to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that too. But in this case, I'm telling you explicitly with so there's no
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, you don't
because
have to worry.
I would need people to tell me this. So I'm telling you what I would need to hear. You are not a bother. You are not distracting me. As long as you wait till after the show, I'm more than happy to come talk to you, and I will do my best to get to the front of the building if you let me know, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I know sometimes I don't know if no one's there, I'm not going to be standing out. I feel like a weirdo standing outside on the street. Like, I think some people might know me. If you let me know you're coming, or if you see me and you flag me down or something, or you wave or something, let me know and I will do my best. You can email me. I'll check my email too, the Blackout Tips. Just let me know and I'll make sure to come say hi. But if you don't want to do that, there's no pressure to say hi. No I don't want you to feel like this ain't a come hug my neck situation. Like, if you cool and low key and you just want to chill, see the show and leave, that ain't no problem with me either. So just if you want to come and support and get a selfie or something together, just let me know. No problem. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got to hug June. That's because I recognize June, because June is like a famous person. Because I was looking, I was like, I know that. Hey, Miss June. Now I'd have felt like a fool to you to be like, I'm not June, but I just knew you was June.
Listen, I'll always be able to recognize those silver locks anywhere,
Come on, anywhere. I was like, I was looking like, I know that, even in her mask. I was like, I know that face. That is Miss June.
Yeah, but see, the thing for me is I don't even really be looking in or at the crowd when I'm working. I'm just working. Like, I'm just concentrating on what the next fucking thing I gotta do for the show. That's like, what y'all need, a new joke? Y'all need, I gotta rewrite this. I gotta take notes, so I don't really get to relax until the show is over. And then, but after the last couple shows, I've had people that, are like, hey, Rob, and I love that, man, because it just warms my heart that you would care so much that on a Friday at lunch, you spend it supporting us and supporting Bo. That's so dope. And this show is such a small family and small world with Morning Jones and the Blackout Tips and Game Theory. So seeing people that sometimes go way back with us, like yesterday, like Pete and his wife were saying they've been listening to the show since like 2013. That's 10 years.
Y'all been around a hot minute, baby.
That's 10 years,
dog. Y'all.
So it's like, you think I'm not gonna come out here and show y'all love? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I've seen the pictures and everybody look adorable. And hopefully I get to come back and do one more show for the season over.
And I got to talk with Roy Wood Jr. again. He was the guest yesterday.
He's fun. He's always fun.
Yeah, man. So it was dope talking to him about like behind the scenes stuff that's going on with just show business shit. And he knows all this stuff. So he's like a hell of a
wealth of knowledge. Yes.
Yeah. And so like everybody loves that dude. He came, showed everybody love. It felt like everybody knows him.
That's a good dude.
And it was funny, like, as soon as I came up to, he's like, "Oh, right, yeah, we gotta get that selfie for you and the wife, man." I was like, "I appreciate you, bro," like, because I definitely won't forget. And so
because Rod do be forgetting. The last thing they be like, everybody be in their car driving off. He be like, "Shit, I should have got a selfie."
Right. So yeah, it was a good time, man. And thank y'all for helping. Y'all are part of the reason it's a good time. Even yesterday, like, our crowd wasn't that big, but they were so good and loud and participatory and they got all the jokes and stuff. It was just like, we worked so hard on this last week's show. Y'all just have no idea. And so it felt so good to be at the end of that, like, yes, because I have some core beliefs about the show and what makes it good and what makes it work. And this week was, to me, my Rod was right week. Like, other people had some like doubts about shit, but I was like, nope, I know what I'm talking about. This shit is gonna hit. And when it hit, I was like, fuck yes. You know what I mean? Like we earned our supper, but also, you know, the things that I think about this show, and what makes it good, I felt like that was on display. And, you know, hopefully we'll see, get good feedback from it and stuff from, you know, the executives and people that are higher up that really matter. But to see that the fans were like, yeah, this is really funny and good, I was like, yeah, that this is.
It
So
was, and it was very educational, particularly when y'all talking about that NBA thing. It's not
overtime
NBA.
elite.
Yes, like that was weird and wild. Like I was
Mhm.
just, I never heard about that in my life.
Yeah,
And then they be like, "Oh, so y'all going through all this training, and they might not even make it to the league." Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. And like one thing that's cool is like I'm starting to get a lot of stuff in the show, which I feel like I always have gotten a lot of jokes and stuff in, but this week felt so like cohesive with everyone's voice being in the show and coming to make a better voice for Bo.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a week where what we had on Monday and even as late as like Thursday morning was not as it was we worked hard to make sure what you got on Friday was dope.
Yay.
And I thought it was dope when it was done. I said,
Mm-hmm.
this is fucking good. And I always had to tell the writers and other people, like the other people watching this, the audience, they don't see Monday, Tuesday. They don't see that.
Uh-uh.
So like if you got any feelings of like, man, it just felt like it's not where it need to be, they not gonna see the it's not where it need to be part. They just see the
Uh-uh.
Friday part. And if the most important thing is if it gets to where it needs to be by Friday,
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like we was a bit subdued all week because everybody had worked so hard that it was like when we would do rehearsals and read downs, people was like, yeah, it's funny, but you know, but it just they could just feel the work coming and the dread. And it was so it was really good. And then I'm getting more involved in the actual process on Fridays and getting to be in the room where some of the big decisions are made and where language edits and picking out jokes for Bo and stuff are made. And that's been really cool. uh it's been really cool. It's a little more work because I still have to like pitch jokes that they pick or don't pick. So I have to participate in that part, but then they go in and I'm in the room where they're like doom doom doom, and then Bo comes in and gives the final word on everything. So and like so language changes and simplifying stuff. That was cool. And then the other thing that was so cool this week, man, and I'll just say I'm very proud of this. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just is what it is. But that whole piece about the All-Star weekend, I wrote most of the voiceover stuff for that. So when you hear him
Mm.
talking about that, and I wrote that Thursday, like they asked me, could I do that on a Thursday, like at noon? And this is in the middle of us doing all this other work for Bo and the overtime lead and the topic. Like this is in the middle of that. And so Thursday at at noon, like James is like, yo, can you look at this and add some alts to the voiceover thing? And I think all the other writers were so busy doing stuff. And I mean, I was too, to be fair, but I was like, I'll get this done, you know, like, and so I worked on it and like, everyone was so happy with it. You know what I'm saying? It made me so proud because I was like, I nailed it. And it wasn't like I felt like I nailed it because I feel like I'll be nailing everything, even when they be like, that shit ain't good. I'm like, sounds good to me. You know, if you say it like this, you know, that's how I be feeling. But to have people like take that piece where, you know, they were like, you know, it just needs some changes because I felt like the piece was good, but it, you know, it like to be part of making it better. It felt dope, and to have people be like, you know, whoo, like it was like skin of our teeth, last minute edits. But and of course, it's not just me. Don't, you know, let's not get it twisted
It's
because
a collaboration. It's always a collaboration, right?
it's never any I'm gonna tell you right now, working in this has really made me look at people sideways. When I don't know how I get how they can do it. I guess you have to self promote, but when you hear somebody kind of make it sound like they just did all this shit by themselves, I'm always a little like, yeah, but that's not how it would work. Like, it's just too many fucking people that are in this shit for you to feel like it's your, like all of it's yours, but none of it's really yours. At least the way our shit works. And I would even say that all the way to the top for Bo. Like, even with Bo, there's never anything he's going to present you that's 100% no one else had any input on. I'm just going to hop on the screen and just say some shit. No, everything is a collab, even from the fucking clothes you wearing to the motherfucking words you're saying to the camera angles. You can't do it all by yourself. And so
and
that's
even
what
with,
makes
I'm about to say, not to get off topic, even with for those of you that have been to the live show, it is, I'm not gonna say it's a trip, but it's different being behind the scenes, because as they go through, you'll see the makeup people, because those are people that the people who watch it live don't see, but you'll see whenever they like doing camera angle changes, somebody's with a roller brush, somebody's with the makeup, somebody's somebody's making sure everything is good. I was like, wow. And they pop up out of nowhere too. They don't pop up on the floor, but they feel like it. Be like, where y'all come from?
Yeah, even the pickups, all this. Anyway, my whole point being, like, every time I say that, I want y'all to know, because I feel like it's important to me, even if y'all might think I'm overdoing it. It's important for me that y'all understand. There's always a hidden or a silent collaborative effort that's happening, but individually, I was able to take some time to just be proud, because I worked hard as fuck this week and I contributed, and a lot was asked of me, but I was doing it. It wasn't like a lot was asked of me and I was falling short. A lot was asked of me and I was able to step up and make sure it got done. And so I'm proud of that, and so I was very proud of this. I was more proud of this week's shit than I was of the shit I wrote for the NFL Super Bowl thing last week. And that was hard too, but I was more proud of this because I felt like people asked me some stuff that I'm sure they weren't even sure I could do, or they were hoping I could be able to do. And to be able to do it felt great. And it was stuff I had never done before. I've never done the voiceover thing like that before. I just went with what I thought sounded dope, and it was cool. And in a short period of time. This is why when I turned in my first writer's packet and I had a week and I turned it in that night, this is why. I know that sounds, even to Bo, I know that sounded crazy, but I was like, I'm going to be in too many situations where I don't have a week.
Right.
So let me just start now, because either I can do this shit or I can't. I don't want to be slowing you down when y'all need something in an hour and I'm up in here like, but I'm gonna need a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to be like, yo, this nigga can do this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and Bo is just so good right now. He's so comfortable. I was telling him Thursday, I said, bro, you can sell this. Like, I know it. So we're gonna get this in the shape it needs to be in, because Bo's don't want to sell nothing he don't feel, and I don't blame him for that. That's
right.
It's the Bo Monty Jones show. His name on the shit. We can't have him out there looking like anything less than it's him. You see what I'm saying? Right. Anything less than 100% confident and believing in the shit, and that is hot fire. It's gonna show, even if it just showed to him. And it would honestly be a letdown and a devaluation of him for us to give him something less than dope, because that's saying that he don't matter really, and that's some bullshit. So it's gonna be dope. But I said, you're killing it so hard right now. Whatever we write, I know you're gonna sell it. So it was dope. This felt more like we worked for it and it came together, and I like that feeling almost more than the weeks that it's so easy, everything's prepared and we just sell straight through. Those are good weeks too, but this one was a like how you feel like running a marathon or some shit. You like, whew, that was a lot of miles. So
yay. And did you want to, well, I don't know if it's going to happen now, but what about the Duke thing? Or you're not worried about that?
I mean, I guess I can tell y'all, but it's so early in this process. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Agree. Like I said, it's up to you.
I'll tell people it might be, it might, hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's like a secret or not. I don't think there's no rule I can't tell y'all.
I didn't think so either,
But
but I didn't,
but just know it might not happen. But
correct.
I'm telling y'all something that may not happen. But
Mhm.
it was a very proud moment for me. I told Karen this. But I'm leaving work like Tuesday or something. And it's like we've been there. It's like 4:30 or something. I forget what I had planned that night, but I get a Slack from Stu, the executive producer, like, can you come back upstairs? And or no, he said, can you come to the conference room? And I'm like, sure. Like I'm on my way home, and I still have corporate PTSD. So like anytime I get can we talk in the office? My brain automatically goes to panic induced, like, PTSD of like, what, am I gonna get fired? Did I fuck up? What did I do wrong? So I'm rushing back up to the elevator, getting back upstairs, and I get into the conference room. He's sitting in there by himself, and I'm like, yo, what's up, man? And I had my bag on, my hat, my jacket, and he was like, oh, he was like, you were leaving? I was like, yeah. He was like, you weren't like up the street, were you? I was like, it don't matter, I'm here now. Like,
Yeah, it don't even matter.
Like,
I came back just for you.
Well, what I do?
What happened? Is the building on fire?
He was just like, who worked with you on the Duke Museum exhibit thing? And I said, me and Sid did most of the work. Me and Zach wrote the deep dive. And I think Zach may have even worked a little bit on some of the ideas for the museum piece, but I don't remember exactly. Like, a matter of fact, I'm sure he came up with the Unimpressive Whites name, but once again, kind of collaboration. But on the day that we did the Duke Museum, it was me and Sid on location. It was supposed to be our day off, but we were on location with the field team. Shout out to the field team. My man Ted, the executive producer, field team dude, he gave me a pen because he said the field team all got these pens that they got from like Chinatown or something. So he said, you an official member of the field team because the way I be helping out with the field team. Because I think I think sometimes some of the writers be on some like that ain't my job shit when it comes to the field team. And Ted is a exhaustively precise dude and extremely prepared. And I think for some people, especially creatives, they get over stimulated and over it becomes overwhelming. They get overwhelmed with the amount of detail that he
has to be like that, right? Because what he does.
I look at it like Ted and them, the field team, have a job that is a very particular part of our show, and if that shit ain't hitting, everyone gonna look at them like they dropped a bomb or they dropped a dud, and the people at home ain't looking at it like that. They not being like, well, it must have been the field team. They looking at it like this is part of the motherfucking Bomani Jones show. Mm-hmm. So if this shit ain't hitting, the show wasn't hitting. So anything I can do in my power to help them.
Yeah, because you've been out there with them on them cold days and shit, right?
Yeah, and I don't have to, like, I haven't done that much of the man on the street stuff. But I've done everything to help prepare them. If they ask me for questions and stuff, they ask me to sit in a meeting, I just do it. Because it's a little different when you're there.
Right.
Like once they're there, like Ted's the boss, they got it organized, and like they only really need you if they like need you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'll check on you every once in a while, make sure you feel included, but like unless he like specifically has like a question or something, there's really no need for me to be there. Like I'm not trying to get extra credit. I really just be there if they need me, right? But like the focus group idea was my idea. So if you got to get off work and you got to go hit another 5 hours doing that shit, I was gonna be there for 5 fucking hours because I want that to be good. And and when it turns out good, I do feel like I'm part of the reason it was good. You know what I'm saying? Even if me sitting there for 5 hours wasn't like 5 hours of me being like, Ted, do this. Like it was mostly me just taking notes and
observing and watching what they do, right?
Yeah. And and of course they know more than me because they've been doing this shit for so long. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm just shooting shit and it's not gonna work, or they don't have time to do it, or they don't really see where I'm coming from. And so it might not get in there, but the general idea, the whole thing was a lot of me, a lot, you know. So in that focus group, a lot of people love that.
That was fun.
Yeah, and so anyway, so anyway, I like to participate with the field team. It's fun. Elena, one of the new writers, she came from the field team.
I remember
I know I
saying that.
told you about her
Yes.
in the beginning. I was like, she's so fucking funny. And it's so dope that she's a writer now, because I thought she was so funny then. She was one of the people that made me realize everyone in that office probably got some level of talent and artistic experience and shit that I don't have,
Right.
because this wasn't my career path. So you got people that's been doing stand-up, writing all this shit, filming stuff for fucking years. You know, to me, that's a powerhouse. Like, you got all these skills and talents. And so anyway, I didn't even get on this long tangent. My point being, I was there for Duke for the field team. So Stu has me come in the office or whatever. He asked me who helped me. I said me and Sid. And he was like, cool, because we're thinking of submitting it for an Emmy. And we want to get all this together. And I'm like, Emmy? like, what? Something I wrote, even if it's just in the fucking email, that's like, consideration to me is like, my guy, I wasn't doing any of this a year ago. You know what I'm saying? So I was extremely proud. I think I called you and told you about it that night, you know. And look, I don't know, it's a lot of money and shit that happened behind the scenes of this shit. It's, you know, with late night, you got fucking, I think James Corden it's his final season. Of course, you got Colbert, you got all the Jimmys, you got the fucking John Oliver and shit. So we, you know, it's gonna be a lot of people.
You know how many people not considered shit? Considered bitches a celebration.
Yeah, so I just don't want to put it out there like motherfuckers walking around like this nigga gonna win an Emmy. I don't know how this works, and it could very much be. I mean, for all I know, they could submit someone else for an Emmy after telling me that they was gonna submit this. So I don't know, but for me, just I've been, you know, it feels good, you know what I'm saying, to even be considered, and we'll see where the steps go from here. But like, nah, that means a lot to me. You know, I couldn't even imagine. I haven't even allowed myself to imagine that as a possibility. And so to have somebody even say that, I'm just like, for real? And he was like, yeah, it's just, you know, for consideration. So I don't know.
Right.
I said, okay, cool, bro. I'm not holding you to. I don't want you to feel like I'm like I walked out of the office like, nigga, if I don't win no motherfucking Emmy, I'm quitting. Like, it was just like, okay, I didn't even see that coming.
Nope.
Glad I came up to the office for this moment. You know what I'm saying? And also, like, it makes my dedication and work ethic, but also just the attitude I try to bring to the work, it justifies it for me, you know, because sometimes it could, and I'm sure my coworkers might feel this too, but I think, you know, my coworkers like working with me. Honestly, if you meet somebody that don't like me, I'm gonna be 1000% with y'all. It's them. Period. There's like 2 people in my life I can be like, oh yeah, I see why that motherfucker don't fuck with me. But in general, it's them. I hate to tell y'all.
In general, it's them, right?
You ain't gonna meet too many people that don't fuck with me, but that's a red flag for you. For you as the person. When somebody tell you they don't like me, they don't fuck with me, dog, I promise you, red flag. Run, don't walk. It's them.
Ain't that the truth? It's
you don't
gotta
tell me about them. I'm not telling you to harass nobody. You don't got to come up to me and ask me what happened. I'm not even. Matter of fact, the fact that I'm not that kind of nigga should tell you is them. You ain't never heard me get on here and tell y'all to fuck with nobody, even when I was mad at them. But my coworkers and stuff, they love me. I get it, but I am the nigga that's probably too positive to them. Like,
they look at you like, you coming in here with this goddamn sunshine.
I'm the one that's like, it's gonna work out. I'm the one like, this shit's gonna still be good. I'm the one that's like, you know, I got faith in y'all. I got faith in us as a team. So even when they having like a struggle week like we had this week, I'm up in that bitch like, you know, like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't remember what it was. Something happened this week. I think well, Elena is kind of like me, where I'm like, we was getting down to Thursday and Friday, and I was like, yeah, this is the shit. This is the one. Like, this is the day. They have to decide. This is where you to find out if you got that shit. You know what I'm saying? When they picking out these jokes,
decisions have
ain't
got
no
to be
taking back.
made.
Yeah, like Monday, they could just wake up on Tuesday and feel different. And so
Right.
all that work you did, it don't matter.
It
All the
really
shit you
nothing.
thought was hot, it ain't hot no more. So you know what I'm saying? But on Friday, nigga, Friday, we filming this bitch at noon. Like, what is in the teleprompter is in there. So like, I love that feeling. I live for that feeling. Like, every other day is getting us to Friday for me. Like, and so I know that's probably annoying to people that I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? They probably want me to join them in the Wednesday misery a little bit. And I'm like, nah, the Wednesday misery.
No.
Yeah.
You're like, no. And what's hilarious about you are so positive that like people from other groups actually like claim on you. They're like, we love people. Even the COVID test people like, we love Rod. Rod follows all the rules. He feel like the survey every day. They was like, we don't never have no problems with Rod.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, look, genuinely, I try to be nice and work with everybody in there. And I think the office environment we have this year, we don't have a communal space, so it's a lot more regimented. So people aren't really able to get to know each other the way we did last year.
Okay.
So I do wish that would change. And then but I just think it's because of the office. I don't think that's anyone's fault. And then also, like, this is the thing. I'm nice and I'm honest and I'm truthful. I'm authentic. I'm sincere. I'm all those things. But I'll never bullshit you either. You see what I'm saying? So like, if I don't think something is hitting, I'm not gonna try to mush your face in and make you feel bad. But you know, I'll be honest with you. And I think sometimes people think I'm so nice that they don't think that part is happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I laugh at something, it's because I really thought the shit was funny, or it was so awkward that no one thought it was funny that it was funny too. Like, that happens a lot too.
Yeah, but I remember one time you was saying that you was talking to them because they didn't really think you got mad, but you was talking to them about the nerds and you were just going off and everybody was like, Rod, you really get angry.
Yeah. They were talking. Yeah, that's a total. I think we may have talked about that on the pregame or something, but yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I don't get angry about the show stuff really. I get it's frustrating at times, but I think we get paid because it's frustrating. We get paid because it's hard. We get paid because we supposed to be some badass motherfuckers that can do this shit. So
come on, never forget you a bad bitch.
To me, that's just another chance to show that this is why y'all fuck with me, because I'm a bad motherfucker on this pen. And if you got some shit, it's some other motherfuckers that couldn't have did it, but you got the right one today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to feel that, you know, that like the fact that the Duke show, we didn't even have an audience, a live audience. And that's the one that people keep going back to, is like, yo, this is the best one. And it was the first show. We didn't know how to make a show. We were learning everything. If we could do the Duke thing tomorrow, it'd be better than it was a year ago. You see what I'm saying? So like, to know that that's the one people keep going to is the one where I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. We can do, let's go. Throw me the challenge. Let's fuck it up. So anyway, I just wanted to, actually, no, Karen wanted me to tell y'all that I was considering.
I wasn't going to say anything.
So
I know how you are. You wouldn't have said nothing.
I would have said something if we either, like, once we didn't get nominated, or if they told me like, actually we submitted something else for consideration, I would have told y'all then, like, oh man, I was almost considered. But yeah, why not share this journey? That's why y'all listening, so y'all can hear it when it happens.
In my mind, it counts.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to just shout it from the rooftops, but I was like, it's too premature. Like, I could have got home and they'd been like, actually, guys, we're gonna submit a different piece, and I would be like, fuck, I should have known. Of course not, but what was I thinking? It's the first fucking thing I ever wrote for a TV show. Why the fuck would that be the thing that got nominated? That's crazy. But yeah, man, I'm getting some work in there. I'm getting some stuff in there, and I'm just so proud of what we are accomplishing as a team, man. This is gonna be for the writers and stuff. I think this episode is because we have a dark week next week, so we don't have a show. So we get Monday off for President's Day. Then we get four more days basically to prepare for the back half of the season. The last 5 episodes of the season. And so this dark week came right on time because this was probably people's most exhausted feeling episode of just like trying to get it together. And I'm looking forward to the dark week. I just want us to get ahead on as much shit as possible because I think we got some dope ideas out there, but we need to sit down and talk about them and figure out what we're gonna do. But it just made me be like, like I said, this, like, I'm thankful that I did this. I can't believe I almost didn't do this, so and I wouldn't have done this for somebody else. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people who chasing this shit as a dream, but it wasn't my dream. So if it was a Colbert Report, I would have been like, now why the fuck would I do that? I gotta be in New York, nigga. I'm good. I want to go to these Hornets games. But I'm glad I said yes. I'm glad that you encouraged me to say yes. So thank you. I still miss you.
I'm glad too. Yes. I still miss you. Everything's good here. I've been going to the games with your mama and your daddy, and I've been having like a really, really good time here. And we've been doing 3 Guys On and stuff like that. So I've been keeping myself, busy around here. My goal, and I know this might sound silly, my goal is to I'm gonna try to go to IKEA tomorrow. I've never been to IKEA. And
what you need from IKEA? Just to go?
Never been there.
Get you some meatballs.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get me some meatballs. Yes.
You by yourself? Don't get lost.
I'm gonna go in the daytime.
Yeah, I heard it's easy to get lost in there. I've been in there before. I thought you went with me, but I've been in there before. The one off Tuckasegee area. And
no, this one is off of University.
Okay. It was easy. I'm just saying the one I remember. I thought it was anyway, whatever area. It was like you gotta take the fake I-85 to get there or something. It's like off the side of the road. It's a big ass like thing. Anyway, all I'm saying is this: be careful. You can get lost in there. Okay.
So I just want to go eat the meatballs and just kind of go around because everybody talks about it. So I was
let me know about the meatballs. I never had them before.
Okay, I tell you what. I tell you about it because everybody talk about the famous meatballs. I was like, well, I've never had them. I've never tried them. So I'm about to go in there and get lost and roam around, and look at shit, and hopefully I can find an exit.
Well, let me know what time because that'll determine if we do a show or not. Because tomorrow at 6, I'm doing I'm gonna be on Silent Trailers on Keith and the Girl. Check out their YouTube, Keith and the Girl. It'll be live. It's free for y'all to watch, I believe. So Silent Trailers, I'll be playing that game at 6. So let me know what time you plan on going out there so we can schedule the show accordingly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It'll be
take the day off. It's totally up to you.
Okay. It'll be early because I about 10, 11, somewhere around in there about the time they open up some around
All right,
there.
Well, this is not stuff that need to be said on the show. Let's go ahead and get up out of here until next time. I just turned into a phone call. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, everybody.